locations, the original Crestline, newest location in Edgewood. Fantastic food at both. Great place to watch all of your college basketball action during the conference tournaments this weekend. I will be at Odie's multiple times next week. Can't wait. But stop in, see Will Aver and that great staff. Birmingham Institution is Odie staff.
And our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Get by there and see Sterling and the crew. Enjoy a great lunch, a great dinner. It's a lot of fun at Champy's Chicken. When we come back, we'll do trash and say goodbye to the week.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Show being brought to you today by our friend Alexander Shinara. Hit the spotlight, Tyler. Let's do it, man.
The College Football Spotlight
It is presented each day by Alexander Shinara. Shinara Trial Attorneys. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case at Alexander Shinara, and they won a lot of them, $2 billion plus for his clients, and he has accomplished that by just doing a few things, right? Focusing on integrity, mastery, passion, and success. That's his core values. That's how you get $2 billion for your clients. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shinara.com, Shinara.com.
Dylan Raiola is our spotlight today. He participated in the first practice at Oregon Spring. Broken fibula ended his season last year at Nebraska. He'll be the backup to Dante Moore, but he is participating there at practice. Good for him. The Tennessee Titans made a good move yesterday. They dropped all the Navy from their uniform. Redesigned logo, redesigned uniforms. That is the new look Tennessee Titans.
I think they got close. I'm not like 1,000,000% in love with it, but I like it, and it's better than their old one.
Yeah.
Do those pants have any striping on it, Forrester, especially the blue ones? Do they have any striping on it on the side?
I don't believe so.
The only thing we're missing is a little more tint of red. I know Forrester brought up the red face mask.
Yep.
That would help.
Yep.
Is the T-nut kind of like a Tesla logo, too?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
The little detail I really like is the they call it the 6-string stripe on their jersey. Homage to a guitar.
Oh, I see.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that, Brooks. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, Brooks, thank you. I
Well, I
didn't hear that. It's a good story.
It is a good story.
I'd like to know if the white one, all white, I like it. If there's piping on the side of the pants, the white with the blue pants, I like it. If it's piping, I don't see what's so hard. Just give me the old Houston Oilers uniform.
Yeah, get as close to
and
that as you
just
can.
put the Titans logo on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good uniform, though.
Yeah.
They got it
it's
better.
an improvement. Let's do trash today. It's brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop.
The New York Butcher Shop, great place to pick up fantastic steaks on your way home. Some of those in-house sides made fresh. But not only the steaks, the chicken, the ribs, the pork, everything right there in-house, made with the great touch of the staff of Butchers. Get in, see Jim and all those great guys. 2 locations, the original Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Don't forget about the fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts as well. Rare quality, well-done service. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
Did you hurt your hand?
It's large. It's large. I was able to get the whole thing in my mouth, though.
Next Round hoodies and Next Round hats all in one place, nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know, you might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all of your favorite Next Round gear by visiting nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from nextround.store.
Think about the best summer nights of your life. How many of those were in a great t-shirt? Visit nextround.store to get the perfect t-shirt for the next perfect southern night. Nextround.store. The memories are waiting.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinara, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Live show on a Monday, reacting to the bracket. We'll tell you about our brackets, and we'll tell you about brackets you can play in. We'll tell you about bracket challenges over the next couple of days. All that coming up. LTD and B with you. All the guys behind the glass, including Forrester and Brooks and Tyler, all ready to go. We'll talk about bracket challenges. We'll get to all that. Alabama's in. A lot of people like their path. We'll talk about that later on. We'll talk about the biggest screw jobs by the committee, not involving who's left out, who's left in, who got put in, but not in a good place. We'll talk about some sleeper teams throughout the day. But we got to start off talking about Auburn, that they missed the tournament and they accepted the NIT bid. And those are two very different things. So we'll save the accepting the NIT bid here in a second. They missed the tournament. Not a lot of people crying for Auburn around the country that they missed the tournament, but Auburn fans have a reason to believe they should be in. Some of them do. Stephen Pearl made a case for it. And you can make an argument over a couple of teams that got in that Auburn probably should have been in. But at 17-16, that eye test on seeing the record of 17-16, as the Brooks graphic said last week, no 16-loss teams ever received a net large bid, and Auburn continued that streak.
Yeah, look, I'm one of those that that's great. You played this really, really difficult schedule, but you lost a ton of games. And I really think there was a sentiment out there, I don't know if you guys agree nationally, that Auburn was campaigning so hard for this. And maybe it started with Bruce a couple of weeks ago with the Miami of Ohio and the Auburn back and forth. But I think there were a lot of people that were pulling for Auburn not to make the tournament.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that the whole campaign that they did, and it was a strong campaign over the weekend, was going to matter one way or the other. I don't think the selection committee is looking at social media and is like, oh, you know what, I think I'm wrong about all
It just reeked of desperation.
It really did. I don't think any selection committee member is going to say, those are numbers I had not seen before. Those guys have access to all the numbers.
Yeah.
So I
agree with that.
I don't know if you do that to show your fans we're fighting for our side or whatever. I just don't think it was going to make an impact.
Yeah, I do agree with, though, what Lance said. I think Bruce Pearl flipped the script on Auburn nationally when he was doing what he was doing on Turner. I think he actually, in the long run, ended up hurting Auburn's case more than he helped it.
And I think he's made Stephen's job even more uncomfortable. It was going to be an uncomfortable transition, but now there's just memes everywhere, with Stephen getting rocked by Bruce and Nepo baby and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Look, Auburn's argument, their ultimate argument came down to we played a tougher schedule than anybody in this position.
Which is fact.
Which is 100% fact. Unfortunately, you went 17-16 and 7-11 in conference against that schedule. So now the reaction is, well, you should have never played that tough of a schedule. I maintain you could have played a less difficult schedule. If you go 7-11 in conference, you're not getting in this tournament.
What was Texas?
Texas, I believe, is
9-9.
9-9.
Yeah. And they beat Auburn straight up.
Auburn beat Texas straight up.
Okay. Yeah, there's not another 7-11 team in this tournament. Not another one.
Really, SMU's not 7-11?
Nope. 8-8.
8-8.
There's not another 7. You weren't getting in this tournament at 7-11 in the SEC.
Well,
you would have been in the same exact spot. In fact, you would have been right among this group of teams.
But there was a 7-11 in this conference that would have gotten in before Auburn, and that was Oklahoma.
Potentially. I mean,
to me, the Texas-Auburn debate, if you just want to go down in the league, Auburn beat Texas head-to-head. Texas, one of their 18-14, which looks better than 17-16, right?
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that we're
but 18-14, that includes a win over D2 Chaminade out in the islands back in the day, and a bunch of give-me home wins that Texas had against teams that just don't show up on Auburn's schedule. So when you look at quote-unquote quality wins, Auburn was 16-16, and Texas was 10-14. And that's just Texas. I don't think Miami of Ohio belongs in this tournament. I know I'm on the wrong side of the debate on this desk.
I mean, we shouldn't play regular season if they don't belong yet.
The regular season, the regular season is important. They played nobody.
That was the easiest thing in the world. And I sent out a tweet yesterday, jump on Calci, code TNR, and I took full advantage of getting on Miami of Ohio to get in this tournament.
Oh, to get in.
Yeah,
okay,
there was no way they were not. they were not getting in this tournament.
Well,
yeah.
were they
no,
good
you're
at-
right. You're right.
Yeah.
But you're the guy that always says, I hate political correctness.
Yep.
We're putting them in because they won 31 games and they're a mid-major and all that. They had their 90
That ain't political correctness. It's just, why would you play a regular season?
because they didn't play the same regular season as
It's
half
just
the
like-
teams in this field.
It's just like it's great that you play all these difficult games, but if you can't win any of them, it ain't worth it.
Yeah.
I can't believe they took an NIT bid. That's embarrassing in itself.
Well, let's get to that different conversation coming up in a second. Give me cut 6 before we talk Kalshi. Tyler, if you would, cut 6. This is Tyler Hansborough. Am I saying that right? Hansborough?
Yeah, Tyler Hansborough.
I think I mispronounced it back in the day, Hansborough, but it's Hansborough. He used to play at North Carolina. He's on the field of 68 last night. He played big boy college basketball, played at North Carolina. Here's his thought on Miami of Ohio.
No, I don't think they should have made the tournament. And the reason I say that is their strength of schedule is pretty weak. What is it? Let's see here. 339th. No quad 1 wins. We had a quad 1 win debate last year whenever Carolina got in there, but we had a much stronger schedule. And quite honestly, I think these other teams, maybe Oklahoma or somebody, kind of came on a little bit towards the end, or teams that in bigger conferences that actually have a legit chance that didn't schedule D2 schools, in their pre-conference schedule. I felt like they should have been rewarded. And if we haven't learned anything from the college football playoffs, realistically, is Miami of Ohio a contender? Absolutely not. I have them losing in the playing game.
Well, I mean, somebody's going to lose all the play-in
I mean, they're
games.
probably going to lose in the play-in
Yeah.
game. But you know what? North Carolina, there's a good chance they're going to lose in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, half the teams are going to lose the first game they play. That's the math there.
This is why I wouldn't have a problem going back to 32 teams in this tournament.
I think 64 is the right number.
64 is the
Yeah.
right number, but I would rather go 32 than expand it to 70-plus teams.
Yeah, I just, somebody asked me today, you got to admit that Auburn had an argument. I was like, Auburn had an argument. That's the problem, is they only had an argument. Like, don't have an argument. Play your way in the – Auburn sucked in February. You sucked in February. You played a tough schedule, yes. You played awful in February.
Don't lose to Ole Miss at home.
Yeah, you played awful in February. And while last 10 may not be an actual criteria they look at, these are human beings, and they looked at Auburn's February probably and were like, that ain't a very good basketball team right now. I'm not putting them in the tournament. I mean, don't put yourself in that position. Auburn has nobody to blame but Auburn for not being in the tournament.
And Oklahoma should be more upset than Auburn today.
Oklahoma is, to me, is a notch ahead of Auburn, absolutely. Pull up Texas's schedule.
All right.
Auburn's most embarrassing losses down the stretch were to who? Mississippi State?
Ole Miss.
Mississippi State and Ole Miss?
Yeah, Ole Miss was the worst one.
Check out the regular season
Look,
losses.
Texas is in the same scale. I'm not saying Texas
also
does
lost
not
to
belong.
Mississippi State and Ole Miss.
Texas basically, let's go their last 6 games. Loss at Georgia, tournament team. Loss against Florida, tournament team. Win at A&M, tournament team. Loss at Arkansas, tournament team. Loss to Oklahoma, loss to Ole Miss. And the Ole Miss game obviously was in the
I think back
SEC
up there
tournament.
somewhere they lost to Mississippi State too.
They did not. Oh, well, yeah, but I mean, that was the first game of conference play.
Yeah. I mean, all the games count, Brownie.
Oh, God, you made it sound like it was yesterday.
Auburn has wins over Florida on the road, St. John's, Arkansas, Kentucky, Texas, who's in and playing in the play-in game. Oh, by the way, they beat NC State, they're in the play-in game too, aren't they? Auburn beat them head-to-head too.
They play Texas in the play-in game.
Both those playing games, Auburn beat both of them.
I don't think Texas.
Those are wins. Those aren't just I played them. Those are wins for Auburn.
Yeah, I don't think Texas should be in.
I agree with Lance, but we got to find 68 teams, guys.
But you can do this. I mean, if again, Oklahoma, and I know you agree with this, but Oklahoma's not even in the mix, but they're, you can make an argument easily for Oklahoma.
Yeah. This is not a commentary on you guys. My least favorite thing we do is debate teams. What is it? What are we debating here? Team 37, is that right? 38, whatever.
Yep.
In the NCAA tournament.
That's your of all the things we do on the show. That's your least favorite thing.
No. I said literally before I said it was my least favorite thing. This has nothing to do with what you two are talking about.
Yeah.
This is my least favorite thing we do with the NCAA tournament is we sit here and debate Team 37 or 38.
We do it for football, though, with teams 13, and Nick Saban said we would. We'd be debating 4 and 5 and
I've got a
13
better
and 12.
appetite for 13 and 14
But see,
than
I
37
would
to
be
38.
biased if I was on, football committee. I would not want any mid majors. If I'm on the basketball, I want more mid majors.
I mean, do you look at this tournament?
Well, I mean, Texas isn't going to do anything. I would rather it would be more fun if a mid major wins a game or two than Texas.
I mean, but who's more like VCU or George Mason? Is it Texas? Is Texas roster or Hofstra? And as soon as I say that, Hofstra beats Alabama. But you know what I'm saying?
It'd be easy, Jim.
But you're right. The memorable moments of the tournament is when teams like Hofstra win games.
And you're just never going to see that in football. Those teams can't win these games, but in basketball, they can.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Wins against the bubble, Auburn was 44, Oklahoma was 49. Both of them, have a case. 46 and 43. 46 strength of record for Oklahoma, 43 strength of record for Auburn. Not
pretty close.
Yeah, not in.
Don't go 7-11 in conference.
Talk about Kalshi. You just talked about cashing in big with a position on Miami of Ohio to get in there. Tell me about Kalshi, and then we'll talk about Auburn accepted this NIT bid and the teams they will be associated with in the NIT.
Yeah, it took positions on Miami of Ohio to get in and Auburn to not get in. These are just things that, I mean, you can take positions at Kalshi on a lot of different things. The Oscars last night, Tyler and I were texting back and forth on that. I almost got down late on a play that wouldn't have worked out for me, but I just played, and Tyler was like, Michael B. Jordan's going to win this. That's a whole other story we'll get in today on the next reel, but I did get down on Kalshi on teams to get in and not get in the field of 64. All you got to do is put in that code TNR, very important. You're going to get $10 back when you trade $10 from our friends at Kalshi. Brown, it's legally available in all 50 states, not only the pop culture and the sports, politics as well.
Yeah, now that the brackets are out, your pick to win the national champion, Duke at 22%, over Michigan at 18%, Arizona at 17%. Now that people have had a chance to look at the bracket and see what the paths look like, they are able to go in and make their plays right there at Kalshi. You can do it at Kalshi.com, but we recommend you download the Kalshi app. When you do it, use code TNR, and you can get $10 on your first $10 position with our friends at Kalshi. Kalshi.com or the Kalshi app, code TNR.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, urologycentersalabama.com. Remember that website. They'll help you out. And right now you have the ultimate excuse to kick back, relax, and enjoy the biggest games this March. Schedule your vasectomy right now at Urology Centers of Alabama and recover just in time to catch every buzzer beater from the comfort of your own couch for the next few weekends. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the perfect excuse for a few days of relaxation. Call 205-930-0920 or visit urologycentersalabama.com to book your appointment today. Urology Centers of Alabama, your health, your game plan. NIT bid, Auburn's the number 1 overall. They'll be at home. They open with South Alabama. Other number 1 seeds in this tournament, Wake Forest, New Mexico, Tulsa, and Auburn. No Oklahoma. I mean, I don't know the teams that turned down bids, but Oklahoma obviously did.
Yeah,
correct?
they had to because they probably would have been, for whatever that's worth, the number 1 overall.
Yeah. So your thoughts on Auburn taking this?
Well, look, I mean, real quick, Brown, I think, if you're a competitor and you want to play basketball, that's great, and you want to get better for next year, but I'm going to be surprised, and I think we all agreed with this. What are the chances that any of these guys from this current roster are going to be around? And they really showed me they didn't really care to play their best basketball in the months of February and early March. So what's the motivation going to be now that you sat there and you campaigned so hard for the last week, and then you go to the NIT? I think there's a better chance they're one and done than them making a deep run in the NIT.
Yeah, I don't know if South Alabama can beat them. I won't be paying attention, so I won't really care.
I won't either.
We've got a long-running policy on this show. We don't talk about the NIT. This will be the last we talk about it, thankfully.
Here's one thing I hate, Brownie,
What?
is that it's going to end the streak of sellouts at Neville Arena. There's no way you sell out the place. There's no way you sell out the place.
I mean, Auburn
it's
fans
tomorrow night, right?
Auburn fans were barely, well, They weren't barely coming to the late SEC games, but they were showing
tickets
up in smaller numbers to the late SEC games.
Tickets were bought, but they were not every button to see.
You're not. I don't know why you would pay to go watch an NIT game. I would never accept an NIT bid if I'm a power conference program for a lot of reasons. Number one, I did not start my season to be in the NIT. There was not one person in one locker room in the SEC that said, guys, we're either going to make the NCAA or the NIT. Let's go out there and play. Not one coach.
Not one.
From South Carolina to Florida, not one single coach ever says that. So it's not a goal of mine to make the NIT, so I'm not going to accept it. Number two, I don't want photos floating around of my court with an NIT logo on it, my team playing in front of an NIT. If you have to put an NIT patch on your jersey, I don't want photos floating around with my arena half full because I'm playing an NIT game, and it's an exhibition game. This is an exhibition tournament that means absolutely nothing. There is zero chance if I'm a power conference, smaller conferences are different. If I'm a power conference, I'm accepting an NIT bid. It's embarrassing. I can't believe Auburn did it. I've got Auburn fans, when I mentioned it on social media last night, that I was shocked by this. Why are you shocked? Basketball players want to play basketball. And I'm like, it sure didn't look like it did in February.
Wait,
if
so
you played basketball in February, you would be in the NCAA tournament.
You got Auburn fans?
Oh, my gosh, yes,
I thought
Lance.
we were talking a couple of weeks ago that Auburn fans were ready to shut the season
there are
down,
a
and
lot
now
of
they
them.
want to play in the NIT.
There are a lot of them, but they came out of the woodworks, the ones that did not want to shut the season down last night when I said I was shocked Auburn accepted an NIT bid. I'm still surprised by it. Never
Because
in a
even
million
if
years
you
would I
win
do
an
it.
NIT, there's not a chance in hell you hang a banner.
Not anymore.
No,
Not that
God,
you've got
no.
legitimate Final Four banners hanging out.
I don't want anything in my arena that says NIT. Nothing. I don't care what I do in the NIT. I don't care if nobody scores a single point on me the entire NIT. I'm not hanging that banner.
Here's a list of teams that turned it down this year. Oklahoma, Indiana, Seton Hall said no to the NIT. San Diego State said no to the NIT. Virginia Tech said no, we are not Enter Sandman. Is that their song?
Yeah, it is.
Virginia Tech, no to the NIT. Florida State said no to the NIT. And one more. Belmont said no to the NIT. To the NIT.
To be fair, their coach is leaving to go to Kansas State, I think. So
I am still shocked that Auburn did say yes.
I am
But
too.
back to the sellout streak right now. Watching the American final yesterday in Birmingham between Wichita and South Florida, I think there might have been 1,000 people in the crowd. It's not going to be that bad, but do you think it's half capacity?
It'll be pretty bad. Spring break's over, so at least the students will be back.
Students will be back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the appetite for this. I will tell you, I live in Birmingham, and I saw very little about the American tournament being in Birmingham.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah,
I forgot again. We talked about it like last week or 2 weeks ago. They did a terrible job of promoting it. But when I was just watching the games this weekend, I was like, damn, that is in Birmingham.
Yeah, like I do these show notes every day, and it was like 2 weeks before the conference tournaments when I finally came across that the American championship was in Birmingham. I was like, I had to double check.
Yeah.
You still come across people when you tell them you're from Birmingham, they're like, oh, it's Cowtown, right?
Oh, yeah.
But when you watch our sporting events on TV, it looks like that because nobody ever shows up to the games that they show, whether it's Stallions games or American Conference games.
Forrester said nobody was in the stands for UAB's loss. I didn't see highlights of that.
Again, they used to manipulate the old CUSA days and move the host team into the prime time window.
Yeah.
They'd manipulate the bracket
The
to make that
after-work
happen.
game.
Yeah, that being a noon
Did not help.
killed them.
Yeah.
Put your host team at 12 noon on a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good business model there. All right, more on Alabama being in the NCAA tournament. The rest of the NCAA tournament discussions, I've got several different categories. We'll break it down as we move throughout the day. And Ron Slay, we take a sleigh ride. Hour 2 joins us at 10 Central if you're watching live today. The show being brought to you by a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at Hoover Toyota, where LT has put wheels under his entire family from our friends at Hoover Toyota.
Oh, look, they are the best in the business, located right there, Highway 150. Incredible inventory, incredible pricing. When I bought Leighton's car back in December of 2024, I wanted something reliable, safe, something that would hold its value. Everybody swears by the brand that is Toyota. I got in a Toyota back in October. They're Inventory offers a fantastic selection. Their on-site finance department provides affordable financing options. Even after the keys to your new vehicle are in your hands, they are there to serve you with the service and parts department committed to keeping you in your vehicle running smoothly. When you shop with Hoover Toyota, they want to keep you as a customer for life. That's why they offer the Red Carpet program and give you ways to let your friends and family experience an amazing shopping experience. Again, to view their inventory and great pricing, you can stop in, go see Scott, Harold, Kim, all the fine folks. Tell them the next round sent you, or go online today, hoovertoyota.com.
And our friends at stormrestorationroofing.com. That's Greg from Pell City, his wife Andrea. They own the company, locally owned for almost 30 years now. Their website, stormrestorationroofing.com. Call that number. That's Greg's cell number you see on your screen. If you're audio only, here's that number, 205-542-3531. I'll give it to you again in a moment. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Storms, and we've had some more blow through the last couple of weeks. Storm damage, he can handle all that for you. Roof replacements, but it starts with the storm damage, man. That happens instantly, and I want you to have that number on standby so you can make that call to Greg from Pell City so you're not dealing with some fly-by-night door knocker that doesn't have roots deep in this area like Greg does. That number again, 205-542-3531. He handles everything for your roof, and that includes a free no-cost roof inspection. 205-542-3531, stormrestorationroofing.com. Alabama's in. They're a 4 seed. They're playing Hofstra from Long Island. Hofstra. They come in 24-10. Here's Nate Oats last night on the matchup in round 1.
Love the, Friday in Tampa draw. Hofstra's good. I can't say I love the draw. I think, obviously they very good guards. They had Strata, who took us to a Final Four. They've got 2 very good guards again. I don't know how many of you guys are basketball junkies and watch these games, but when we got knocked out Friday and I didn't know who we were going to play next, I kind of went back just being a basketball fan and watching a bunch of these games, and this is one that interests me. I was a mid-major coach. We had some battles. You have those years in the MAC where you got to win it to go, and these guys won the tournament. They're in the NCAA Tournament. They're going to be fighting for their lives, and I got a lot of respect for a program like Hofstra. So we're going to have to come in and take them super serious. We're going to have to be ready to go.
Yeah, so Alabama's in. You just play it out by chalk. When you're a 4 playing a 13, you can lose, obviously. But if you beat Hofstra, you instantly go, okay, who we have next? And that's where I look for the draw, right? So who do you have next? Well, the next is Texas Tech. And you've seen a lot of Texas Tech. Or it could be Akron. Akron scared me. That's who I was afraid Alabama was going to be paired up with, Akron. That's the best team in the MAC, by the way. Over Miami
That's
of
what
Ohio.
a lot of people said all season long. Even you who think Miami, Ohio should be. And you said you thought Akron was the better of the 2 teams. And
again, for the record, I don't think Miami Ohio
I know.
is
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you said you thought Akron was the better team. That's the fight. We may be too early to say this. That feels like the sexy 5-12 right now. Is Akron over Texas Tech. A lot of people are going on the fact that Texas Tech, their best player, Toppin, is injured and out for the year. Alabama's a 2-touchdown favorite over Hofstra. I think this sets up great for Alabama. I've said I think Alabama is an Elite 8 level team. I think they're going to get a 1 game to get into the Elite 8.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Texas Tech, they seem like they pieced it together without Toppin, and maybe that was just playing on pure adrenaline, but since then they've lost 3 consecutive games. So I think Alabama at full strength is better than Texas Tech right now. So I think Alabama got a pretty good draw.
Yeah, I liked this draw when I saw it pop up. I mean, look, you're going to have to beat a 1 at some point. And I don't know which one you would want to have to beat right now. Florida or Arizona or Michigan or Duke, they all look dang good.
Well, we know Alabama does not fare well against Florida. So they've got a Florida problem mentally or physically, so take them off the board. And the rest of them, you already played Arizona this year. Alabama didn't play Michigan yet, have they? Auburn did.
No, Auburn did, and Auburn got smoked by them. But Michigan, they've had an injury since then, so they're not at 100%. Alabama's as close to 100% as you can be. this time of year.
Of all the ones right now, that's the one I would want to pull.
Probably, yeah. Watching
Michigan
over the weekend, I mean, it didn't look like the dominant Michigan team we have seen under Dusty May this year.
That's right.
I mean, not only did they lose yesterday to Purdue, but they were lucky to survive Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So, but I was looking at this too. I was
and Ohio State.
If your goal is to make the Elite Eight, let's just say if you're an Alabama fan, you're looking for a path to the Elite Eight. I know this sounds insane, but I had almost you would maybe say, well, it's easier to get to the Elite Eight as a 3 because I don't have to play the 1 until the Elite Eight, right?
Right.
I mean, I'd almost rather take a shot at Michigan right now if I'm Alabama than have to play Purdue to make the Elite Eight. Iowa State, maybe you'd like to play that one better. Houston against Alabama. I mean, the way Houston can play that physical defense, you don't like this Houston team?
Alabama's owned better Houston teams.
UConn, there was your other option, though. That's what I'm saying. Iowa State and Houston, you'd be like, maybe okay, but you really want to play UConn or Purdue? More than
Iowa
Michigan?
State's a sexy pick for everybody. If everybody who's not going chalk with all ones, Iowa State is a very sexy. Let's don't put a 1 in there. Let's put number 2, Iowa State, in there.
Yeah, but I start looking around. I mean, how many teams really can come out of the Midwest? I do think Iowa State's got a legit shot of coming out of the Midwest. Michigan, if you wanted to take a flyer, you could talk me into Alabama or Virginia, but I don't feel great about either one of those.
Virginia was some others I saw.
Do you guys
on
think,
ESPN watching all the bracket coverage last night?
When Virginia takes Duke to the wire in the ACC tournament, everybody's going to be on board Virginia. I think they're a really good team.
Yeah, they are. Do you guys think if Alabama would have beaten Ole Miss, did they get one of these 3s? Maybe they get shipped out west to Portland.
I'd have to pull it up right now, but on the S curve, I think they were 15th or 16th. Which one was it? I'll see if I can find out.
Yeah, that's a pretty good draw for Gonzaga getting a 3 and being able to play in Portland. What is that? What is that playing?
How about Houston? If they win 2, then they're playing in Houston for the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8.
But they're
sorry, Florida.
Right?
Sorry, Florida. Gonna have to play Houston in Houston.
Let's hold that because I was going to come back to that.
Well, that's the one team. Florida got the worst 2 probably in their region just because of how they pressure the basketball. And if there is a weakness right now, it's probably Xavier Lee.
Oh,
and Houston's probably
Houston's
probably licking their chops at that potential matchup.
100%.
So in the S curve, Lance, Alabama was 14. Nebraska was the only better 4 seed than Alabama. So you could make an argument, if Alabama doesn't mess around with Ole Miss Friday night and beats them, that they could have been a 3.
Cut 3, Tyler, if you will. Here's Nate Oats on being the 4 seed in this tournament. It's not really what Nate Oats had dreamed up.
I didn't plan on being a 4 seed this year. Our players didn't plan on it. Our plan was to win the SEC regular season tournament. So to me, it's been a little bit of a disappointment at this point. Now, we can make up a lot of excuses for why we didn't have the year we wanted to have, and we did, and some of them are legitimate reasons with the injuries and whatnot and all this other stuff. At the end of the day, we didn't win enough games for what we expect to win around here, but we can fix all that here over the next 2 weeks if we lock in and play well. So, while the program's to heights that we wanted to get it to and that it hadn't been here in a while, we got to make a run.
Maybe Brooks, you know this off the top of your head, or maybe you guys do. Maybe it's on your notes or something. I saw somewhere that Alabama's the only team to have gone to a Final Four in the Elite 8 the last 2 years. Is that a true statement, or is that fake news, as we call it? Will you check that for me in the break, Brooks?
Final Four and Elite 8 in back-to-back years?
In back-to-back years. Nobody, in the last 2 years, not all the time.
Well, yeah.
On a current run right now, nobody in the field has gone at least to the Final Four in the Elite 8 the last 2 years.
I think that's right. Well, take me back. Florida, UConn, what round did they play in?
I can't remember. I can't remember on the fly.
I think it was Sweet 16, though. I think you're right.
I think UConn got beat out in the second round last year.
Yeah, I think they did because I was still in Cleveland when that happened. Let's look at that in the break and see if that's real news, fake news, or whatever. We got some football to get to. Ron Slay's going to join the show. 4 downs, trash, entertainment news, all that usual stuff we get to, all coming up as we roll on today. Show number 1153 being brought to you by our friends Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys.
Shannara.com. That's the website you go to when you need legal help for any issue. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case with Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. That's the promise right there, right? Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys, you know they handle personal injury cases. You know they handle things like that. But did you know they handle fire and storm damage cases, bad drug and device cases, workers' compensation, employment cases? The list goes on and on and on with Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys, and he's recovered more than $2 billion for his clients. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case with Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys. Shinara.com, Shinara.com.
And we're closer and closer to going racing at Talladega again, coming up Friday, April 24th through Sunday, April 26th. It's the Jack Links 500 weekend at the world's fastest speedway. Be there to witness all the exciting, unpredictable super speedway racing as the biggest stars in NASCAR battle it out on the world's fastest speedway, and you can be there by getting your tickets right now. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com, or call 877-GO-TO-DAGA, 877-462-3342. And don't forget to upgrade to the Garage Experience, where you can be up close and personal, watch your favorite drivers and their teams work on the car. Garage Experience upgrades. Get more details and get your tickets right now. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
Follow Brown on Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinara, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place. NextRound.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt. You can look your best by shopping with us at NextRound.store. Take the next round anywhere with NextRound.store.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Birmingham's fastest party returns to Barber Motorsports Park March 27th through 29th. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst Experience. 3 days of high-speed action featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar Series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, fan zone, and more. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Ain't no party like a Dega party.
The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this superspeedway, everything usually does. Hell yeah, boys! NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Hey, a little football here. We're 166 days away from our kickoff. That's our Innisfree countdown. More on Innisfree and what's going on there at that wonderful locations tomorrow in just a second. But Tyler, if I can get cut number 9, Kalen DeBoer here as we're at 166 in our countdown. Kalen DeBoer tells us what he's expecting when Alabama's done with spring. A-Day this year. What's A-Day going to look like after it looked very different last year? Here's the Alabama head coach.
Yeah, I mean, we always want to scrimmage and have a great spring game. Last year we just had 2 position groups in particular, but just we wouldn't have been able to put on a good show. We needed to get something out of the practices. Unfortunately, that was where we were at a year ago. I think we're in a different spot this year. We really haven't talked about it as a team. We're just focused on what's next. But, you know, we'd love to get out there and have some fun. Practice and get better and scrimmage. That's kind of the expectation that we have for that day. Hopefully nothing crazy happens, but that's what I would expect for A-Day.
Alabama spring continues on after the spring break. Auburn's cranking theirs up this week. A big story involving Greg Sankey and what he's saying we'll talk about later in the show. Our countdown brought to you by our friends at Innisfree at 166 days. Don't forget, close today, and then tomorrow's the big celebration down at Innisfree. 6 a.m., the doors will open, and we do kegs and eggs all day long. There'll be bagpipers there, food trucks, and so much more. It is our wonderful St. Patrick's Day celebration going on all day tomorrow, starting at 6 a.m. with our friends at Innisfree Lakeview location, also in Tuscaloosa. It's a game day tradition, one of the best bars in the country on game days in Tuscaloosa, and a wonderful place to spend your St. Patrick's Day, our friends at Innisfree. Also, our friends at Inverness Country Club bringing you the show today.
Brown, this weekend?
Saturday I was there, yes.
Saturday. Look, I would think it's probably relatively easy to get a tee time today with the weather that is out there around the Birmingham area. But look, the weather will be heating back up, and the best days happen at the Inverness Country Club. They've got memberships that fit everyone. Maybe you relocated or retired. How about networking at the Inverness Country Club? Maybe you work from home. What about working from the club while they watch your kid? Child care is a big part of it, too. They've got the newly renovated clubhouse and dining. To take a tour of the unbelievable club, go to ICCalabama.com. That is ICCalabama.com.
Okay, Brown, you wanted to make a point about Nate Oats, and first of all, put to rest. You and Brooks doing a little research in the break. What that bragging point is about Alabama in the Final Four in the Elite Eight the last 2 years.
So Brooks did the research. I'll let him do it. But I thought when Jim said it, the obvious answer, Brooks, is Duke, and it turns out that was the obvious answer, right?
Yes, Alabama made the Final Four in 24, Elite Eight last year. Duke did it the opposite way, made the Elite Eight in 24 and the Final Four this past season. Only one other team aside from that has made 2 consecutive Elite Eights, that being Tennessee, who has still never made a Final Four.
Painful stat for Tennessee there. They keep getting their
it's a glass ceiling for Tennessee.
Get over the hump.
So that's interesting. Didn't you have one other point you wanted to make?
Yeah, so I'm going to credit someone else on this one. Blake Byler. I didn't do the research. Blake Byler, who covers Alabama, he does a real good job of basketball for On3, Bama Online, points this out yesterday. Alabama, before Nate Oats, received a top 4 NCAA tournament seed in 1982, 87, 91, and 2002, 4 times. Under Nate Oats, they have done it 5 times. This goes, and for those that can't see it, 21, 23, 24, 25, and 26. They've been at least a top 4 seed. So 4 times in school history, a top 4 seed before Nate Oats got there. He's done it 5 times in his time there, including 4 straight years.
Yeah.
They've done it 4 times all time. He's done it 4 straight years.
Should be noted, they didn't start seeding the field until 1979, but still an amazing stat.
Oh, it's an incredible stat. And it goes hand in hand with that soundbite you just played in the last segment from Nate Oats. where he was like, man, 4 seed that's not what we set out to do. We've lost too many games here. He has built a standard in Tuscaloosa that is one of the best in America, and I appreciate the fact that he doesn't just celebrate getting in the NCAA tournament. He's like, 4 seed, not what we set out to do. You know, we're still going to go try to win this thing as a 4 seed, but that was not our goal. And I mean, I think, you know, so much got talked about the Nick Saban standard in football. I think Nate Oats, in many ways, not entirely, is setting the same type of standard in basketball now. But Alabama basketball and Alabama football are in different worlds, right? So, but Nate Oats is setting a standard where we're not just going to celebrate winning some games and making a tournament. There's a standard to live up to, and we didn't live up to it, even though we are in the tournament as a 4.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, some football programs out there, it's not just about getting to the college football playoff. I mean, it was nice that Kalen DeBoer got there for Alabama, but Alabama fans expect to be able to advance. I think in basketball, he's taken them to the level where just getting in the tournament isn't good enough. It's all about getting to the second weekend.
That's right. I mean, there's an expectation now where just making the tournament isn't anything to celebrate in Alabama. That's assumed when you inflate the basketballs that you're going to be playing in March Madness. To Lance's point now, anything short of a Sweet 16 is going to be a disappointment here for Alabama fans. I think most Alabama fans are like, I think we can make the Elite Eight. I mean, that Michigan thing hanging out there is tough. But that's just where this program is. And it's a credit to Nate Oats, best basketball coach Alabama's ever had. And yet again, has his program right back in a good spot.
They started seeding the teams in 1979. Duke's the number 1 overall seed. They've been the number 1 overall seed 16 times now. Only North Carolina more than them, 18 times from North Carolina. So since 1979, you can do the math there. What is that? 16, 18, was that 34? Is that right?
So, I mean, you're coming up on 47 tournaments?
Yeah, so 34 times Duke or North Carolina has been the number 1 overall seed.
That's ridiculous, really, when you say it that way.
They know their basketball. And listen, if North Carolina, and I've got them circled as a potential first-round upset to VCU, if they get bounced in the first round, don't be surprised if there's a job opening at North Carolina, even though they made the tournament.
I've got an interesting 4 downs question on a couple of the first-round matchups, but back to expectations for basketball schools, and I know we brought him up a couple of weeks ago, but for Memphis to keep Penny Hardaway?
Yeah, it's got to be all financial.
I mean, I guess, but 9 years, 1 win in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, for that program. Let's go ahead and do that. I don't want to step on 4 downs. So 4 downs today brought to you by our friends at Central Alabama Asphalt, Browning.
Yeah, when you're out, as I was just yesterday, in fact, on my way to church and saw all that paving equipment right there at 280 and 459, I'm like, I bet that's our guys from Central Alabama Asphalt when they fire it back up later on this week. Yeah, probably is, because when you're riding around and you see major state of Alabama federal government municipal roadway projects, there's a really good chance Central Alabama Asphalt is the one doing those projects. And you would think, well, that means they can't do my smaller project like a parking pad, a driveway, a parking lot for a church or a community center. That's where you could not be more incorrect. They've got the same crews, same quality, same no excuse standards, an entire division based just on that. From highways to neighborhoods, Central Alabama Asphalt, your place to go there. Get an estimate on your job, 205-349-0910, 205-349-0910, or centralalabamaasphalt.com.
Well, just do it. First down.
First down.
Yeah.
Flava Flav, 67 years old today. Better career, Flava Flav or Mr. T?
Oh, I'd go Flava. I don't know. Mr. T is pretty iconic. I'd go Mr. T. That's almost
I will
right
say
into
Flava
Mr. T.
Flav is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He is one of the founding members of Public Enemy, which, they were critically acclaimed back in the day.
I never knew that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Flava Flav was part of
Public? Chuck D and Flava Flav were the founding members.
Wow.
And I think he's just become kind of a character of himself with the clock and doing all the
he is
VH1.
kind of become, he's
which
kind of
Mr. T always was.
Yeah, he started that from day one, didn't he, Jim?
Yeah.
He was just a caricature of himself from day one, and it worked for him.
I'd go Flava Flav.
Yeah. Mr. T at his height, though, when he was in Rocky III as Clubber Lang, when he was in the A-Team.
Yeah, one of the biggest stars.
Cereals.
Yes, had his own action figure. I mean, he had everything.
Yeah, I think at the top, Mr. T, but I think overall it probably is Flava Flav.
Second down.
Vlad Guerrero, 27 years old today. Joel Embiid, 32. Better career, Vlad Guerrero Jr. or Joel Embiid?
When it's all said and done, it'll be Vlad Jr., I think, even though probably more people watch the NBA. But injuries and lack of championships from Embiid, Vlad Jr., I think, is got a lot of runway left. Another decade of really good baseball.
Yeah, was in the World Series last year. He's been a runner-up for AL MVP. He has won the MVP of the ALCS. Now, Embiid is a former MVP winner, two-time scoring champion.
Just stayed hurt too much.
Yeah, but I do agree. I think Vlad overall is the better player.
Yeah,
and
I'll go Vlad.
Yeah.
Third down.
By the way, first two chat room heavy on Mr. T, chat room heavy on Vlad. So there's where the chat room is from.
Eric Estrada, 77 years old. One
Long
of our
interview.
worst long interviews of all time. But if I asked you, and obviously of Chip's fame, what 70s reboot would work well in the streaming world? I initially thought Fantasy Island, and then I read that Fantasy Island came back on Fox in like 2021 for 2 seasons. Yeah, and didn't do anything. Now, the premise behind it was weird. They didn't have a Ricardo Montalban and a Hervé Villachez.
Yeah,
it was a couple of chicks, but
that was important. Those two guys.
But don't you think you could make it freaky and
probably,
because now Fantasy Island had a little dark element to it in the 70s, but now you could have some weird ass fantasies on Fantasy Island.
No, absolutely. If you could do it on an HBO or something like that, where there are no rules, virtually, then it would be a lot more interesting. So I'd go Fantasy Island. Because at that point, fantasy, it's open to anything.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
A-Team was 80s, but did you know nobody ever got killed on the A-Team?
Well, there were a lot of explosions for nobody to die.
I think I did see that one time that nobody ever died.
Did they have to do that for network television? Like network TV?
MASH people died all the time.
Well, yeah, but they died like you didn't see them get blown up. They just came in, having been blown up.
But it was so weird watching all of this.
I know, all
this
the carnage,
constant,
nobody dies. Yeah.
Conflict and firefights, and nobody ever died. But if you did an A-Team now, I mean, you could have some massive gore.
Love Boat. Didn't we bring that back with the they used to show it during the football games. I can't remember the name of it.
Remember.
Odyssey.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Odyssey.
Dr. Odyssey. It's that kind of Love Boat.
So I don't think any 70s TV would work today on streaming. None.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't know that, though. I mean,
the storytelling is different now, and they've tried bringing them back in multiple properties, and it falls on its face immediately.
But we're talking about
the concept.
The concept, and then doing it in a modern way.
That's right.
Yeah, the modern audience don't care about the 70s.
We're not doing the 70s.
The point.
The storytelling is...
We're about to do the entertainment 10 minutes here.
Okay, like Kojak. I mean, Kojak, Telly Savalas, it was about, I think, a detective.
Is it an overarching narrative or is it episodic?
I don't know.
Well, is it a different story each episode, or is it one big story?
Sure.
I'm saying that because I've never seen Kojak.
Yeah, I
never watched Kojak. I have no idea.
It was probably episode to episode.
Did I miss the part where you said you had a lot of first-round matchups in 4 downs, and I said, let's do it here so I don't walk on it?
I'm coming up on it. I said I had an interesting question about a first-round matchup.
Okay. Fourth down.
Fourth down.
More pressure in this tournament, Mark Pope or Hubert Davis?
Ty, that's a great question.
Well, I mean, I look at Pope, and, he got to a Sweet 16 in year one, but it just feels flat right now. I think there's a really good chance Santa Clara is able to pull off the first-round upset. And then you look at what's going on with John Calipari. Like, Kentucky fans...
think that makes it worse? Yeah.
I think it's got to make it worse, right? If they were to make a run here?
I agree. He's left us, and he's gone and rebuilt Arkansas into what we used to be.
And by the way,
I've got 3 X's.
If Duke loses, they'll have, I think, 1 tournament win in the last 4 years or 3 years.
No, North Carolina.
North Carolina, yeah.
I've got 3 X's of potential for just my first pass this morning at the bracket. First round upsets. One of them is Santa Clara over Kentucky. One of them is VCU over North Carolina, and one of them is South Florida over Louisville. And so that's why I think both of them are under a lot of pressure there. And I really think both of them could lose that first round game. Pope won't lose his job this year. I think there is a good chance that Davis loses his job if they lose this game.
Okay, if Pope loses this game, who is on a hotter seat next year? Stephen Pearl or Mark Pope?
Mark Pope.
Pope.
Yeah, because he's the Kentucky coach.
By a little.
Well, Pearl would be.
Well, I mean,
I guess
Pope could actually make the tournament and still get fired next year.
Yeah.
If Steven doesn't make the tournament, he would get fired.
Yeah, but Steven's just like, make the tournament and you probably save your job next year. Pope, that will not be the case for him. It won't just be making the tournament.
I mean, Bruce Pearl retired, so Auburn had an off year, and Kentucky still didn't get back into the top part of the SEC where they belonged. I mean, you still had Florida and Alabama and Arkansas and Vandy up there. I mean, that's a lot of pressure, you know.
Well, and knowing, and this is probably a bigger topic than we get into, back to Steven, how differently will he actually schedule next year?
Yeah, well, that's something we can talk about a little bit later on. That's our 4 downs. We'll get to the viewing menu. Last night's a big night for LT and Tyler. Ron Slay coming up at the top of the hour. Before we do the viewing menu, Bojangles, Brownie.
Bojangles has that Bojangler back right now for a limited time. It's that Alaskan pollock filet with Bo's seasoning on it. You can get the deluxe with lettuce, tomato, pickle, cheese, tartar sauce right there at Bojangles. It's the Bojangler for a limited time. Start your day putting up threes with that triple-double biscuit. Triple the protein with the bacon, egg, and sausage. Double the cheese on Bojangles scratch-made biscuit. And like all of their breakfast items, the ham biscuit, 2 for $5. All the biscuits, you can try it with that brand new Bojangles iced coffee at your local Bojangles. And end your day the way you should with a little strawberry cobbler. It's always good, right? You can get it at Bojangles now, where it's always bow time.
205-969-8100, the number I called back in 2003. Michelson Laser Vision. Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform the laser procedure in the state of Alabama in 1995. I got the procedure done in 2003. Still 2015 vision better than 2020. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toll, the next round Cynthia. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
All right. So last night was the Oscars, and if you watched the next reel and paid attention to my picks on a lot of the technical categories that I threw out there, you would have made some money on call sheet because I was 10 for 13.
Wow. It's impressive.
Yeah, I text Tyler. I had no desire to watch the Oscars, but I texted him and I said, let me know when the Best Actor category is coming up, because that was the controversial category, and I still cannot believe.
Is this where Chalamet was?
Yeah, and
Chalamet shot himself in the foot 2 weeks before the Oscars.
Yeah, but why is that shooting himself in? Why is that shooting himself in the foot? Legitimate comments.
Well, okay, so
opera and ballet nobody watches.
So that wasn't even the full comments. It was he was talking about the future of movie theaters and how cinema is just becoming more of a niche experience, like opera and ballet. And then he followed it up was like, yeah, because nobody really cares about opera and ballet these days. And so because he said those and he works in Hollywood, everyone stood up and said, well, I care. I care about opera. I care too. And his campaign ended right there.
Which is really stupid. I mean, if that's going to flip your vote, it was not a landmark performance by any means.
I didn't think he deserved Best Actor anyway, but
I didn't think any of those perform. But I mean, come on. Michael B. Jordan in Sinners to get Best Actor?
Yes, I think it was the best performance of the year. Well, second best behind Jessie Buckley, who won Best Leading Actress.
Very Hollywood move.
Well, that's
and by the way, he's very credible. If you the shot at ballet, his sister, mom, and grandmother are all professionally trained ballerinas, so I think he can speak to it. Nobody watches that shit.
No, it is incredibly niche, but you also can't flip the bird to all your voters.
It's not all your voters. It's just another typical Hollywood move.
It's a good
I
chunk
can't believe
of them,
I like
and
film
the
as much as I do with a
them.
lot of these weirdos. That's all I got to say. That's why I try not to watch that shit, because I don't want to, hear the personal stories. I like to just see the work.
That's true. Anyway, tonight we've got an AMC Screen Unseen. This one, normally I have like a good idea of what it's going to be just because of what's coming up. I'm unsure this time. So it could go two different directions. This is an $8 gamble.
But you'll be there anyway, right?
Yes,
I might, depending on what it is. It could be a body horror drama named Alpha, where it's a 13-year-old living with her single mom, and their world collapses the day she returns from school with a stick and poke tattoo on her arm, possibly having contracted a new lethal bloodborne disease. People I remember in high school coming back with stick and pokes all day.
Wait,
every
what is a stick and poke? Do you guys know? I don't know.
I have no
It's
idea.
where
Never
somebody
heard of it.
just grabs a sewing needle and some tattoo ink and
Yeesh.
poke, 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 poke,
don't
and then
do
you
that.
get a tattoo design that looks like garbage and could possibly give you a blood infection.
Well,
Yeah.
Hey, jailhouse ink's better than
sounds
that.
like a
right?
bad idea, doesn't it?
Yeah, like just never do that. I remember kids coming back like every Monday with one on their arm or their leg, and then it would look like it was infected.
My God.
Yeah. But it's either going to be that or it's going to be Project Hail Mary, big release coming up later this week, where science teacher Rylan Grace, played by Ryan Gosling, wakes up alone on a spaceship light years from Earth. As his memory returns, he uncovers a mission to stop a mysterious substance killing the sun and save Earth. And an unexpected friendship may be the key, and it's directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who are best known for these Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty interesting. It's getting really good reviews, too.
Yep,
And I like Gosling a
I'm
lot.
definitely seeing it later this week, but I might catch it early if it ends up being that movie. But if it ends up being Alpha, I'll probably skip the screen unseen and run back Sinners because they've got a lot of the Best Picture nominees rotating at the theaters. And then finally, Disney Plus has added what I think is probably the hidden gem of 2025 to its catalog. No one really talked about this movie. It's called Rental Family. It stars Brendan Fraser. An American actor in Tokyo struggling to find purpose lands an unusual gig, working for a Japanese rental family agency, playing stand-in roles for strangers. He rediscovers purpose, belonging, and the beauty of human connection.
Very, very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shockingly good.
Really liked it.
Good.
Like, I mean, just off of the concept, you would think, what is this? But it is a really touching movie.
Yeah, and I think there's really a space for that. I mean, this is like legitimate stuff that goes on, right?
Oh yeah, it's a real service that happens in Japan. People renting family members for the day or a girlfriend, whatever.
Yep. Ron Slay at the top of the hour. What will you guys be talking about on the next reel, and where can we get that?
We're going to let Tyler brag a little bit about his technical wins, and then we will get into our 10 best movies of 2025. So I've got some hidden gems. Jump in. I guess it will drop tomorrow. We're going to film it after.
Yeah, planning on dropping it tomorrow at 11:50-ish. So that way, right when tomorrow's TNR is ending, you can hop over to the other TNR.
All right. And Johnson RV gets us to Ron Slay.
I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur is where you find Johnston RV Center. You can shop right there online as well, johnstonrvcenter.com. Shop by price range if you wish. You can shop as low as $30,000 or below, anything over $120,000. You can shop by model, the park model, the toy hauler. You can look at maybe the motorhome, whatever you're looking for right there. They've got a fifth wheel. They've got it right there at Johnston RV Center. You could see more, johnstonrvcenter.com. Now, RV Warranty Forever is also there, and that's what gets you that lifetime warranty on anything that is new or qualifying pre-owned at Johnston RV Center. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 Decatur. Online, johnstonrvcenter.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Catch up on all today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Looking for the ultimate weekend in Birmingham? The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix is back at Barber Motorsports Park, March 27th through 29th, bringing big energy, big crowds, and unforgettable moments. It's more than a race. It's a full day of excitement, family fun, food, music, and world-class competition, all set on one of the most beautiful venues in racing. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix at Barber Motorsports Park. Get your tickets now.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this superspeedway, everything usually does. Hell yeah, boys! NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We are on our way to Bristol, Connecticut to talk to the great Ron Slay, the Sleigh Ride up northeast right now where it's cold and snowy, kind of like somehow the Deep South. The snow will be over, though, for Birmingham's fastest party, returning to Barber Motorsports Park March 27 through 29. The Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by Amherst. 3 days of high-speed action featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar Series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, fan zone, and more. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now. Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. The Sleigh Ride in Bristol. What is up, Ron Slay? How are you there?
What's going on, fellas? What's happening with you all?
Not a whole lot. At least you're not missing like nice, sunny, warm weather in the Deep South. It's probably about the same here as it is in Bristol.
Yeah, this is the first. Usually I leave warm weather to come up here to this foolishness. It's just rainy right now up here. So y'all deal with that coldness.
We will do just that.
Hey, by the way, first blush, you have a better hotel room in Bristol than you did at the Super Bowl.
No, this is much more comfortable. This is I ain't looking over my shoulder. I actually have central heating and air in this situation. So hey, it's a bit different. I ain't got to let the window up to get a cool breeze.
So Slay, what do you say to the SEC fans now and just the basketball guys out there that are saying it seems like Arkansas is more dangerous than Florida just based on this one past weekend?
It's wild. Well, I tell everybody outside of here, welcome to the SEC. Like, this is what we deal with on a week-to-week basis inside of the conference. You can be on a high, and then the next thing you know, a week later, you think your coach is about to get fired if something don't change. So this is welcome to it. This is the gauntlet that you have to run through. I think when you look at Arkansas, to us inside that's been watching, it's not shocking or surprising. I think when you look at it, it's Trevor Brazile. If he's going to be an X factor like that, this is going to be a different team. You know what you get from Malik Thomas. You know what you get from A-Cup. You know what you get from Billy Richmond. But I think the consistent factor is a guy like Trevor Brazile. If he can tilt the scale by being able to be a defender and protect the rim and be able to be efficient from three and then attack the rim the way he does, like, that's a whole different Arkansas squad, man. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, man. So it's just what it is. Welcome to it, everybody. And everybody that's panicking about Florida, just understand that it's Kentucky is a prideful bunch. That's a prideful program. They're blue blood for a reason. They played Florida, who had them down by 16 and probably should have finished them off. They were able to come back. They were able to come back also when they played in Rupp. It's a part of the game. Vandy played their perfect game, shooting 50% and above from 2 and 3, and damn near 100% from the free throw line, not turning the ball over. And their bigs going 7 for 11 from 3. Like, that's I don't think Coach Byington could draw up anything better than that. And Florida didn't defend. I think that was a shock, a slap in the face to Florida, to let them know, all right, y'all, it's time to knuckle up. I think overall though, they didn't lose that 1 seed, so I think they were fine in not losing, but fine in where they stood.
I don't know how many hits you'll do from your hotel room in March there, but we have a statue here, the second largest statue in the United States, Vulcan, that has no pants on. You can see its buttocks. With that mirror behind you there, I want you to be careful. Make sure you got pants on every time you do one of these interviews now.
Now, guess what? I was thinking about at the end standing up and just walking on off. I'll let y'all edit it and figure out what's going on.
Yeah. So, hey, now I don't buy Florida winning the national championship, but because of their guards this year with Boogie Flan and Xavier Lee. Tell me about their guards. Are they good enough to carry those big guys all the way back where they were so good at guard last year? Can they win it all again, the whole thing?
I think so, but just for the opposite of what you just said. I think it'll be the big men having to carry the guards. I think the guards need to be able to do just enough, not turn the ball over, make open shots when given that opportunity, and understand what your identity is. Your identity is the interior. Like last year, the bonus was if Thomas Houck at the 4 could make an occasional 3, Alex Condon could do it, Chinyelu could get them other opportunities. Remember those all offensive rebounds? Those offensive rebounds used to be kickouts for 3 for Will Richard and Walter Clayton, Elijah Martin, and so forth and so on. This year is different. Those offensive rebounds are put back on the rim for another 6'11 or 6'10 guy to go up there and dunk it as well. So the guards have to be able to not turn the ball over. They got to be able to defend at a high clip. And they got to understand that, hey, man, we got to get the ball inside. Whether that's giving it to Alex Condon on the pressure release, letting him go dribble handoff and coming back with a high-low or a drop ball screen to him, whatever it is, get the ball inside. Your strength is the interior. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you occasionally forget that, on that occasion, you will be bounced from the tournament. So I do think when you look at experience and them knowing what's gotten them there and how they were able to be dominant over that stretch run, it was because of the interior. Yes, the guards came along, and then we started to say, oh, yeah, this team could be different because of what the guards added, not of what the guards were carrying. The bigs have to carry this team. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Ron Slay, SEC Network, you'll see him on ESPN all week long from up in Bristol there. He is with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline. When I look at Alabama's draw, and a lot of fans agree with this, when I look at Alabama's draw, I do not hate it. Hofstra, they're 14-point favorite over Texas Tech, is banged up, and what would be a potential 4-5 matchup if they get past Akron. Look, you're going to have to play a 1 seed at some point probably unless they get upset. Michigan's good, but you got to play them at some point. Like, I don't hate Alabama's draw, Slate, and they got to stay kind of close to home in Tampa.
Yeah, I think they got a good draw. I think you got a good draw. You got, Cruz Davis that you got to take care of when you play against Hofstra. But they're a low-scoring team. You got 1 or 2 options. That should be okay for them to get by and figure out, even if we don't play defense in this matchup, if it remains close, it's because of what we did, not what they did. So I think they get past that one. And like you said, Christian Anderson coming out there, everybody that's played sports, watched sports, been around sports, know it takes one instinctive move, and all of a sudden that groin or something tweaks, and he's back out. They're already down without Toppin. So I think that's a lot of pressure and responsibility on Texas Tech to figure out what to do next. So I think Bama, like you said, rolls. And when you get to Michigan, everybody that was all up in arms trying to figure out, man, what's wrong with Nato's? Man, Nato's crazy. He bringing Betty Akko back. This is why he was bringing this is why he was trying to go get Betty Akko, because of situations like this, when you run up against these elite number one teams that have a front line that you don't boast of. You got to imagine when Alabama went on that run, yes, Mark Sears, those guys were great. But Grant Nelson, those guys, I forgot who was the five man. I forgot who was the five man was.
It was Pringle.
Yeah, Nick Pringle.
Nick Pringle's at Arkansas now.
Like when they went on that run, dude, imagine what their front line looked like then. Those guys played to a different level. And then last year, when Alabama started to go on a run, it was because of the front line emergence. So you gotta have somebody on the front line step up. So if it's Bo Bourne, whatever it is with him, he got to be able to step up. Sherrill, you got to be able to stay out of foul trouble. We got to be able to lean on you, because that Michigan lineup, that's 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot that they don't play around. They can interchange. Morez Johnson is a monster. And then, you can put pressure on Cadeau. I think the guard matchup, Alabama wins that hands down, no questions. But you got to be able to space the floor and get hot. You get hot, you'll shoot them out of the gym.
Biggest story in the SEC yesterday wasn't teams that got in the tournament. It was the Auburn Tigers not getting in the tournament. Where did you stand on that side?
Yeah, man, I thought, man, the work that would have been done earlier would have definitely helped them. They had every opportunity in the world to beat the teams that they were supposed to. Yes, you got along that journey, you got to be able to get some upsets, beat a Arkansas, beat a Kentucky, beat a Florida. But all that's null and void when you go down the stretch, and if you lose at a Mississippi State, you know what I'm saying? You play those teams close. That's not what's supposed to happen. So I think they just kind of fumbled that and botched that on their own. I thought Stephen Pearl did a good job of rallying the troops to get them to go on. SEC tournament could have been a little bit better for them. But the one thing we can all say is, yes, the committee had a decision to make. But at the same time, you held your destiny in your hands for a long time this season because of the strength of schedule that you had leading up to that point. Yes, you had a lot of teams that you had to play. You beat, like Bruce Pearl said, you beat some conference champions, but you didn't beat the people you were supposed to beat that you were more talented than. That right there is what hurts. So they fumbled that on their own, and the one way to get everybody's attention and slap them in the face and say you should have been there, go down there and beat the South Alabama.
Come on, Slay. Slay, come on.
Well, he's going to be in the studio for those
Slay,
games.
I forget. You're going to be in studio for
you'll
the
be
NIT.
in studio for some NIT, right?
But when you're whispering on 3HL later today, all right, give me your honest, unedited opinion. If you were the head coach of a basketball team in 2026, would you accept an NIT bid or would you pass? Would you say no, thank you?
No, I would have passed. I would have got recruiting. I would have gotten to the transfer portal. I would have been going to go look for guys right away. There's no way I would have accepted that.
Okay.
Just for the simple fact. But I also think, let me say this. I thought Bruce put the spotlight on Auburn.
Oh, me too.
I thought if Auburn would have just kept doing the losses, all that's cool. Play the games close, go beat Florida, whatever you got to do. Just keep trucking along. Don't shift the spotlight to me. And all of a sudden, with that spotlight, the person that's controlling it is Miami of Ohio. You shifted from an undefeated team to you. I don't care what your strength of schedule is. Undefeated is undefeated.
That's right.
Yes, it is what it is. They lost one game. They cannot leave them out. If they leave them out, then you got a whole different problem, a whole different can of worms that you opening up. So I would have been quiet. I would have been quiet and then raised hell if they didn't get in, and that would have made everybody feel bad for me. Not shift the spotlight from an undefeated team to us that keep on losing to people like Mississippi State with one guy that can score 46 points. and set a record?
Yep.
No, come on, man. What are we talking
See, that's exactly what Lance and I said in the opening segment was if Bruce was retired on an island drinking a rum drink and not on Turner, Auburn, the committee had a shield. They could have stuck to the metrics. But once he put the spotlight on them, they had to choose between undefeated or strength of schedule. And undefeated, as LT points out, wins every time. So
brought too much attention on yourself.
I want to ask you about other SEC teams other than the ones we've talked about. Your Tennessee Volunteers, they could, if Miami of Ohio wins this playing game, you guys get them. Man, that's a pretty good draw. That's a pretty good draw, buddy.
Yeah. I think the thing with Miami of Ohio though, man, they play fast. They play fast. They're guard oriented, and they got bigs that can step out and shoot. I don't like that matchup.
I'm hearing scared Ron Slay here. You're afraid Miami of Ohio is going to win, and now you've got to be the one that says we are big boy basketball, and we've got to go beat this little bitty team.
No, first of all, it ain't no little bitty team. That's first and foremost. The second thing is, I would much rather play SMU. They're gonna play a much slower style than a team like Miami of Ohio. They're averaging 90 points. Like, and they all can shoot, and they've been in close games. And I don't want everybody turning against me. Yeah. You know who's everybody. You know who everybody gonna cheer for in that arena. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So if they get on the run, they hit 2 or 3 threes, everything's gonna shift. But I do think the scale tilter is Nate Amen. They don't have a Nate Amen. You know what I mean? I do think that we're about to see these freshmen across the country go on a run like they're supposed to if they got the guys behind them. I think AJ DeBonce is he's in a different situation because Saunders went down. But Nate Amen, Darius Acup Jr., them dudes finna go on the tear, man. And I think Tennessee, I like how it shakes out for them. And I'm looking for that matchup against Iowa State. I think Iowa State going, you know what I mean? Let's see what Lipsy got.
Yeah,
that ain't the scoring guard that we've been against.
Typical Tennessee. You're already writing Kentucky off and penciling in Iowa State. I see that.
No. I'm just looking at the resume. I know they swept us last year, and then to get to the Elite Eight, they had to play us again, and when all the chips pushed in, we came out victorious. So I'm just going off, you know what I mean, what postseason means to us.
Hey, before you go, 3HL is based in Nashville, Tennessee. One of our viewers said, Dunaway, did you ever think you'd live in a day that, and I haven't checked the facts on this, but combined wins in football and basketball this year, Vanderbilt's at the top of the SEC. I have not checked the wins, but Vanderbilt football wins, Vanderbilt basketball wins, tops the SEC
That's believable.
of all the teams. I said no. I never thought I'd live in that day. Did you ever think you lived in a day, Vandy, when you combined football and basketball wins was on top of the SEC?
No, I did not. No, I did not. Neither did I ever think I'd be talking basketball on ESPN either. So,
but here we are.
Get the look of the draw here and there. And then, so.
Hey, real quick, and this is one of those questions that there's no right answer to, but I'm just saying, just my gut feeling. A.J. Storr got a really good look to win that game Saturday against Arkansas. I had a feeling if that ball goes down, they beat Vandy and win the SEC tournament and steal a bid. I think if Ole Miss could have gotten to Sunday, they would have won the thing.
I believe so too. It was one of those they won't die.
Yeah.
You can pull a can of Raid out. You can set rat traps. You can set roaches. Get them out of there. They were not dying, dog. They were up under the house. They were inside the panels of the walls. Like, they were not going away. I wish he would have drove. And put it on the ref. He just drove to tie the game up. He just drove to send it to overtime with a mean drive. I understand, man. You hit a 3 earlier. Also, so you thought you had it going. It was online, but drive, man, they couldn't stop you from driving. I would have been able to put it on the ref, and Chris Beard would have lost his top if they didn't call a foul.
You'd have throw him out of Nashville, not just out of the state.
We'd all been debating today. You got to make that call. You got to make that call.
Yes.
They were going to be a bid steal. I think they would have won it all.
Yeah.
All right.
I do too.
See Slay in studio in Bristol. The man said he never thought he'd be there. We knew you would. Ron Slay in Bristol. Thank you for the time, Ron. Always good to see you, buddy.
Appreciate y'all, baby. Y'all be good. And y'all go down there and support Auburn, man. See what they can get done.
Thank you, Slavey. Enjoy it. All right, Ron Slade, company man, Ron Slade.
Give us a freaking limo and put cash in the middle of it and drive us back and forth.
I ain't going to watch it at home. I'm sure not going to drive down to Auburn to watch it.
Ole Miss, I got a text Friday night, and I'm sitting at a random bar that didn't have a TV, so I'm watching it on my phone, and got a buddy. He's like, should I cash out at Calci? And I'm like, Ole Miss is going to run out of steam sooner or later.
That's right.
And they just didn't. And I did think Alabama's final possession was not good.
Well, Sherrill's hands are so bad, you just hate to give it up.
There was 5 guys. You look at it, there were 5 Ole Miss defenders on top of him.
Yeah.
It was a hard pass to handle for anybody, but especially Sherrill.
Yeah, especially Sherrill. That's
low and hard.
That's kind of his weakness there.
But that game Saturday,
but you should have never been in that
Arkansas
situation if you're Alabama.
No,
but yeah.
you're right. But that game Saturday was an incredible game, and that's what's so funny. And I think Arkansas is super dangerous. But everybody, just all of a sudden saying Arkansas can make this huge run, they should have gotten beaten by Ole Miss.
Ole Miss had them against the ropes, and that was an Ole Miss team going nowhere. Beard said it after the Bama game, though. He's like, y'all talk about my team getting fatigued. He goes, these guys play 3 games a day in AAU. They don't get fatigued. This is nothing new for them. And that's why I thought if they could get to Sunday, especially once Vandy routed Florida, and now all you got to do is beat Vandy. I think Ole Miss,
Vandy's good. I liked Vandy. Look, I had Vandy minus 2.5 yesterday against Arkansas. They had a complete meltdown in the final 3 minutes of that game. But Vanderbilt, that's another one of those teams that they can make a little run.
Hey, listen, Texas, Oklahoma, Auburn, they were all sitting there cheering for Arkansas. They did not want to see Ole Miss get to Sunday.
A couple of sponsors here will continue the conversation. Brooks, I just sent you a text. If you'd check that for me, please. Lance'sLock.com, brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. Tell us about the great folks at Hemp Hill. After you tell us about your weekend and how you can play do you have a tournament package? Any fun stuff?
We will have a tournament package up and available tomorrow. We will give you details later today about that tournament package. But jump on, win with us. NBA tonight, we've got 2 plays out there. It's a light card because that's all we've actually got out there. Tomorrow, we'll be starting with the play-in games, NIT, all of it up and available at lanceslock.com. Free play every single day. It's always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, cooling, any of these issues, home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
And our friends, Brownie, at Central State Bank.
It is the bank that is big enough to meet any need you have, but they are small enough to still know you. Why? Because they're a community bank. That means that not only are the banks right there in your community, but the decisions are made in your community by people you go to church with, people you see at the grocery store, people that are at the ball fields, they live in your neighborhood. That's what it's like to deal with a community bank. They've been doing it for more than 100 years. Local decisions, personal service that makes it feel like home. So if you're starting a business, buying a car, planning for tomorrow, they're with you every step of the way. Rooted in community, driven by relationships. Central State Bank, member FDIC.
Developing news here, and Brooks just gave me the thumbs up that this is a true tweet from Nick Kelly. Nick Kelly of AL.com, and he covers Alabama sports about as good as anybody. Details on the arrest of Alabama basketball guard Aden Holloway from a Tuscaloosa police spokesperson. Agents with the West Alabama Narcotics Task Force conducted a search of a residence in the 400 block of 30th Avenue East this morning. The agents recovering more than a pound of marijuana, paraphernalia, and cash. Holloway charged with first-degree possession of marijuana and failure to affix a tax stamp. He was transported to the Tuscaloosa County Jail this morning. Bond is at $5,000. So Brooks saying that is a legit story there. Nick Kelly, the first to report that.
Boy, this puts Nate in a really uncomfortable situation because you talk about this Hofstra team. It's a game Alabama should win, but you look at Wrightsall, how he struggled on Friday night, didn't make a shot from the field. Holloway has been the yin to the yang for LeBaron Philon all year, and if you're Nate Oats, if you play him, which I don't know what he's going to do in this situation.
Well, I think we've seen Nate.
I know, but it's going to go back to the Brandon Miller thing.
I know.
People
Nate,
are going to bring that up, and it's just it's a situation Nate does not want to be in, obviously.
No. I mean, any time's a bad time to get a player arrested. The day after Selection Sunday is probably the worst possible time.
I don't think he'll play against Hofstra. If that is legitimate, I don't think he will.
Based on Nate's history, it would surprise me It wouldn't surprise me for him to play.
So just a quick Google search on this. This is considered a felony in Alabama by law.
I'm going to text Tommy Spina. Tommy's a good friend of ours, and see if he's got any insight on that, because Tommy will know kind of what you're looking at here.
Well, if you are facing a felony charge, I mean, is there anything internally with the university, depending on, school by school, how they handle that?
Yes. Yeah, there are some rules
I still
in
believe
the past where people would say you could not participate if you're.
I still am one of the few that believe in innocent until proven guilty. But, we do live in a society where people are going to pitchfork and torch. Why should this guy be playing if, in fact, he is facing felony charges?
Yeah.
It's an amazing timing of this story.
The timing could not be worse.
Yeah. Mike Rodak also now reporting the story. Alabama basketball player Aden Holloway arrested this morning on first-degree possession of marijuana charge after a search for residence by the West Alabama Narcotics Task Force, according to a Tuscaloosa police spokesperson, Mike Rodak. Also following up, he's with 247 Sports, and of course Nick Kelly with AL.com. Developing story there to keep an eye on as you start to fill out your bracket, or go over to our friends at Kalshi and make your plays there. And obviously Nate Oats having to deal with another off-the-court story under a high-profile time.
I mean, can you imagine you're Nate Oats, you get the 4 seed, you've already got, half your staff is scouting Hofstra. I mean, you've got a quick turnaround. You got no clue you're playing, right? Quick turnaround on a Hofstra scout, and then you've got other parts of your staff scouting Akron and Texas Tech, because you're going to have an equally quick turnaround on that game.
Yeah, best case, though, is, that it's, that's not the other Aden, because you don't have another Aden Sherrill.
You don't have another Aden Sherrill, you're right.
You do have Houston Millett. You got Latrell Wrightsell. You got Bethia, who is improving as the season goes on.
But my point is, you're doing all that because there is such a quick turnaround, and you got to travel, Jim. So this is a Thursday game, or wait a minute, it's a Friday game. I'm sorry. So you got quick travel, you got to do all that, and then this pops up. Your phone buzzes, and Coach got some bad news. I need to tell it to you real quick.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't want any distraction, especially when you've got the draw that Alabama got, which I thought was a favorable draw. We'll get back into the bracket to more on that developing story as it moves on throughout the day. Some college football news that Chris Lowe is reporting off of his interview with Greg Sankey. Sleepers, who got screwed by the committee, all that. Thoughts on the early play-in game. A ton still to get to today, being brought to you by our friends at CPAP Plus, the O'Neill brothers there. Sleep Home Alabama, absolutely a great, if you are a CPAP user, technology changes so fast. CPAP Plus has the latest technology that could get you streamlined for a good night's sleep.
Yeah, look, and just to ask yourself this question, are you tired throughout the day? Are you yawning, before and after lunch? If the answer is yes, you're probably not getting the proper 8+ hours that you need. It's so vital to your health. Our friends at O'Neill Medical and CPAP Plus, they can help out. Both Woody and Joe O'Neill, 5 locations throughout the state of Alabama, 3 right here in Birmingham, Pelham, Highway 280 in Trussville. Stop by today. CPAP Plus, you're going to find the best service and equipment all in stock, ready for you, with hundreds of 5-star Google reviews. Trust CPAP Plus for all of your CPAP needs. CPAP Plus, where every night matters. For more information, o'neillmed.com.
And when your bracket is succeeding or falling apart, either celebrate it or forget all about it with our friends at Culver's. That juicy butter burger is a great way to celebrate a win or forget about a loss. Those crispy crinkle-cut fries, those gooey golden cheese curds, and chase it all down at the end with that creamy, fresh, frozen custard right there with our friends at Culver's. When in Birmingham, Stadium Trace and Highway 280, Tattersall Park, the great locations of Culver's. They are bringing you all of our coverage of the NCAA Tournament. Culver's, welcome to Delicious.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, We are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Birmingham's fastest party returns to Barber Motorsports Park March 27th through 29th. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst Experience. 3 days of high-speed action, featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar Series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, fan zone, and more. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does. Hell yeah, boys! NASCAR weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
So for those of us, and I'm not going to be a hypocrite, I partake in THCs and such, legally at times, and illegally at times.
At times,
yeah. But I buy it legally when I'm in Vegas or whatever.
Bring it home illegally a lot, but I think a lot of people do.
What is a pound?
It's
is that a block?
It's a shit ton. I've seen in the wild a pound, and I don't even know.
I want to cook in your kitchen one day when you're doing a scoop. That's 1 cup. That's a shit ton. Oh yeah.
Do people still use the brown bags? Like, it seems like everything's plastic now when you go to the grocery store. But back in the day, it used to be more brown bag.
You know where the brown bags is? I had 4 of them the other day. Went to a hot dog place on Highway 31. And they still use the brown sacks. They suck 4 hot dogs into a brown sack.
But not as many, right? Like, especially in grocery stores. But if you remember the old grocery sack, and I forgot what the capacity is on that, but that is a full bag of weed. And I think weed is very forgiving. It is amazing. People used to go to prison for that kind of stuff because I'm right there with you. I love THC. But if you've got a pound of it, that's where it becomes a problem, because then people are like, well, is he possibly, again, just throwing it out there, is he possibly dealing?
Yeah, that's why it becomes a felony because of the
distribution.
Yeah, because you've got so much of it. When you see the news, like when Forrester and Brooks would get called off of sports and sent on the news because of the task force, and they would throw those, they always look like it was air dried into blocks, like air-sealed packages.
Yeah.
And then those blocks, I wonder what those blocks were. I wonder if that was a pound that were just air-sealed into an easy stacked block. But Aden Holloway arrested that according to reports, and a $5,000 bond. And just about everybody who covers news in Tuscaloosa reporting that now. Nick Kelly, the first place I saw it, at AL.com. Back to the tournament, actually going on the court. In just a second after LT tells you about the great folks at Crane U. Maybe your favorite U didn't make the tournament, but Crane U is on top of everybody's bracket.
Oh, always
Horrible
playing
transition.
at a high level. I'll just try to follow it up. Hey, look, when you make the phone call, 855-CRANE-U, make sure, whether you talk to Nicole or Francis, to mention the next round. You're going to get 10% off all the great services. Get the Crane training you need today if you're looking for a new career or need further training to advance your current one. Our friends at Crane U offer the comprehensive, state-of-the-art, fully stocked training facilities for mobile cranes, overhead lifts, or forklift training. If you want to use your own equipment, the team at Crane U will come to you. On-site, on-location training offered nationwide. Make the job easier, job site safer. Crane U also offers certification, safety inspections to ensure the safest environment possible. Classes are available monthly. So again, 855-CRANE-U or craneu.com.
We'll talk about Cinderellas coming up at the top of the final hour. All right, so we'll get to that at 11 Central if you're watching us live, hour 3 if you're listening to us or watching us on replay. But some betting, David Parham, ESPN betting guru, some betting storylines going into this tournament. I'm going to read them and let you guys react to these. He says NCAA tournament lines have never been this large. Okay, here we go. All 4 5 seeds are at least 8-point favorites over the 12 seeds for the first time since the field expanded to 64 teams.
Yeah, that's shocking. I think we went through this, and I talked about, because I think we were talking about Mineville High as a 12.
As a 12.
Yeah, most, like last year, I think you had 2 that were right at 7.5 or 8, and then 2 where you had a 12 that was favored last year in Colorado State.
That's right.
That's right.
So
yep.
you've had, in the past, there's a lot that are, right around a picket. So that is surprising that
since
our
we've
numbers
gone
have
to
gotten
64 teams, which has been, mid-80s now?
85.
85.
Yeah, so never have all 4 5 seeds been at least an 8-point favorite.
Used to, you would get your bracket and you would, first thing you do is advance the 16s past the 1s. And then one of the next things you would do is find the 12-5.
1's past the 16s, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, 1's past 16s. The next thing you would do is find the 12-5 upset. You're like, there's going to be one of these every year. I got to find my 12-5. Who's my 12-5 upset? Because, if I lose this one, it's probably going to cost me my bracket. And numbers tell you this year, be really careful with that.
Okay, now 4 and 13. The average spread in the 4 and 13 games, which Alabama's part of this, is 14.3 points. That's the average. That's the largest ever point spreads between the 4 and the 13s. For a while, 13s beating 4 had become sort of a sexy little play,
too. Yeah.
Now, this is where Alabama falls, Brown. You've hit that line a couple of times. What is the Alabama line?
It's 14. 14 was where I saw it open, Lance. I'm sure it has moved since, but I saw it open as Alabama minus 14.
Yeah, I will give you the updated number right here. Alabama is currently a 13.5-point favorite. Got as high as, opened at 12.5, got as high as 14.5, and it's dipped down a little bit to 13.5. And you wonder, if any of that has to do with the Holloway news.
Oh, it could. Yeah, I wonder if that will move it a little bit lower. You lose a starting guard when the strength of your team is guard. Play it either way, but he's a starter.
He's been the most consistent second highest scorer almost every game, right?
Well, yeah.
It's always Philon Holloway. Holloway.
Philon is your go-to, but if I'm leaning on somebody else for offense, it's Aden Holloway.
I would agree 100%.
Average spreads for 3 versus 14 games is at 19.5 points, largest ever trend. And then all 4 2 seeds are at least a 20-point favorite over the 15 seeds, at least a 20-point favorite over the 15 seeds for the first time since 1986, which is just 1 year after the tournament expanded to 64. Those are amazingly large lines, and the instant reaction is the NIL has sucked all the best players out of the mid-majors.
That's got to be one of the probably overwhelming factors. When I saw the initial numbers last night, I did think that they were inflated. I didn't see this article, but it's very, very believable.
So you just looked at it and you were like,
yeah, these numbers are big.
These numbers are huge.
Really, really big.
And this is a lot of people think maybe the NIL is hurting the tournament because we're going to get fewer upsets. That you have to make the lines this big to make it interesting. I'm going to Vegas this week, and it makes it even harder for me now to try to win a game. Because when you get to be 20-point spread, now you're talking about garbage time points.
Oh, I mean, you could
resting players.
You could have a 5-point game at half that ends up being a 30-point game, or you could have a 25-point game at half that ends up being a 10-point game.
That's right.
Yeah, so I mean, it goes both ways. The interesting thing, the first full year of college basketball we had with NIL is when we had that UConn ended up dominating, but you had Florida Atlantic, you had San Diego State. And since then, remind me, what did we have last year? Did we have any big upsets?
I mean, the upsets are when you think the favorites are going to make it, but it ends up being a good team beating UConn.
Yeah, I mean, help me out. So Florida, Auburn. Who else was in the Final Four last year? I hate putting you guys on the spot.
Yes.
Florida,
Auburn.
But I think it was all
Houston.
Was a lot of chalk. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of chalk.
One
it was all 4 ones, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the first time it happened.
It was definitely all 4 ones, but I don't remember who the 4th one was.
We forget this so quick.
Yeah. That's why we shouldn't do this by memory because
Florida, Auburn, Duke, and
we forgot Duke, who beat Alabama to get to the Final Four.
Yeah,
That's right.
Second time it was all number ones. First time was 2009.
I don't know if is that all of his trends.
That was all.
Okay, because there's one more I saw this morning. And I gave this tip on the Hoover Toyota Drive-In. Go watch the whole thing if you want the tip. But 8-9s, the tip is just bet the underdog. Or if you're playing in a bracket challenge, pick the underdog because the underdog has won against the spread at a very high rate in the 8-9 games. They're coin flip games anyway. Your normal 8-9 point spread's a point or two maybe.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're taking the underdog, chances are they're going to win the game if they cover the spread. And again, 8-9's pretty much a coin flip. Even if you get it wrong, they're not likely to advance past the 16 in the next round, but it could be that one game that's the difference in your bracket pool.
One more discussion before we do a football spotlight today. Who got screwed other than some people think Auburn or Oklahoma? Who else got screwed in this thing? Brought to you by our friends at One Man in a Toolbox. Let's try another transition.
Yeah, this is a good one. You got it right here. I can see it coming.
Really?
Yeah.
If you need to screw something into your wall,
there you go.
call our friends at One Man in a Toolbox.
Hey, they do incredible work. Our new bourbon room, they put that together. I've had them out at the house over the last 4 or 5 years doing multiple things from painting to installing ceiling fans. One Man in the Toolbox performs handyman services for homes and commercial properties in Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Montgomery, and surrounding areas. They do regular repairs and maintenance, also small project renovations, updates. They've got multiple technicians with different skill sets, and they can tackle most any item in your home. Call for the free estimates. When you talk to Jessica, make sure you mention the next round. You're going to get a $25 discount for the first hour of service, 205-823-2111 or onemaninthettoolbox.com.
The biggest screw job by the committee to me, I got 2 that I had a problem with, other than leaving Auburn and Oklahoma out. One of them is in the play-in games. You put Texas and NC State playing each other, and you put Miami of Ohio and SMU playing each other. Miami of Ohio and SMU are the 2 weakest of the 4-11 play-ins.
No doubt.
If you had put Texas versus one of those and NC State versus one of those, I believe Texas and NC State both would have advanced.
Were they trying to avoid the potential? I guess you could have done it somewhere else, but Tennessee is going to play the winner of those 11s in Miami of Ohio and SMU. If you've got Texas there, you don't want the Texas-Tennessee SEC first round matchup.
By rule, they can. By their own rules, they can't.
It could have been NC State versus Miami of Ohio.
You could have done it that way.
Or SMU, But Texas, NC State. That's a pretty good basketball team going home from Dayton right there. Meanwhile, Miami of Ohio and SMU will play their way in. The other screw job to me, and I understand why, because Auburn and Alabama both beat them, but St. John's is a 5 seed. They're the Big East champions again, and they're in the region that Duke is the number 1 overall seed for the first time in since 2019. But look at these other brands that are in there, Brownie. Duke is in the same region with St. John's, Louisville, Kansas, Michigan State, and UConn. There's the blue bloods of blue bloods.
St. John's regular season champion. They win the Big East tournament as well. They win 28 games, and they're a 5 seed. And to get to the second weekend, they're going to have to beat Kansas.
Yes.
To get to the second weekend.
Yeah, it's crazy. Evan Maya, the basketball analyst, I may have to dig a little deep to find this tweet to get the exact numbers, but I can give you essentially what he said, Dunaway, is that in his opinion, there was no team, based on his analytics, that was underseeded more than St. John's, based on where his analytics said they should be seated versus where they were actually seated. St. John's was the biggest violator. That's according to the Evan Maya guy that does all the analytics.
Yeah. So, I mean, a little bit, if you're Kansas, you're like, wait a second now. I beat Cal Baptist, who's in their first tournament ever, and I got to play St. John's? That's not a typical 4-5 matchup. And then really, if you're Duke, you're sitting there going, okay, I'm the number 1 overall seed, and I've got to play in the Sweet 16 either Kansas or St. John's.
Tough draw.
Yep. And then to get to the Final Four, I've got to play either Dan Hurley or Tom Izzo to get to the Final Four, or Mick Cronin if he is in a good mood.
Yeah, what's Mick bitching about? Where did they get sent? What city are they in?
I'm sure they don't have to travel
I
any
mean,
time.
I got to get a head start on Mick's bitching when he gets to the
Philadelphia.
City. Oh, no, they got to come all the way across country? Oh, he will be so miserable at the press conference.
I think he starts out west, though, right? And then he works his way across.
Oh, okay, I hope. I don't want to hear him complain.
Yeah. Those were the two screw jobs I thought, that St. John's got underseeded and that Texas and NC State got paired up in the playing game tomorrow night.
I've seen a lot of conversation that Florida kind of got screwed. Well, I mean, you mentioned it earlier that they would have to play 2-seed Houston in Houston.
That's the only game that scares me for them, though.
Yeah, that is.
And then once you get to a regional final, I mean, all bets are off.
It's statistically, I think, unfair. Now, remember, Houston was the host. Remember we talked about this back in the summer? Remember I brought that story up that Houston was shopping around. They were supposed to host the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, the host school. Everybody's got a host school.
Yeah.
And by rule, you can't be the host school and have your team play in it. And they shopped it around.
So they found somebody?
And Rice in Houston took it off their hands, I'm sure for a penny. And
we'll split the profit.
And so Houston's allowed to be seated there, but they're a 2 seed. But we can't cry too much, because remember, Houston, when they were a 1 seed, got sent to Birmingham and had to play Auburn.
And we remember that atmosphere. It was crazy. So this might be a give it back to Kelvin Sampson moment, but that will be fascinating if you do get a 1-2 matchup in the South Regional Final with Florida and Houston. I think Houston might be a 1.5, 2-point favorite.
Really? Over Florida? It's at the Toyota Center, which is where the Rockets play. It is not at the...
Oh, it's not on campus.
It's not on... Well, yeah, definitely not on campus. But I thought sometimes they'll even do those in the bigger dome.
Oh, yeah, to prepare for future Final Fours.
So I was going to say that would mitigate that a little bit for Florida if it was in the bigger stadium, but it is not. It's in the Toyota Center. So, I mean, that could be...
And listen, they've had time to buy those tickets, Brown, because... we were talking about the story of them being their path going through Houston way back in the spring and summer, so they had times to buy those tickets all the lead up.
And they probably thought they would be the 1 seed. So,
probably
of course we're going to be in Houston. We're the 1 seed.
Of course we're going to be in Houston. They get that as a 2 seed. I also thought it was interesting in the West region. Arizona won the Big 12, and they're in that region as the 1 seed. Purdue won the Big 10. Tournament, yeah, and they're the 2 seed in that region. Arkansas won the SEC tournament, and they're the 3 seed in that region. And then, oh, by the way, you've got
Arkansas 4,
by the way, you got Gonzaga and Wisconsin, all in that region as well too.
It does look like a brutal region.
You got some hot teams there.
Yeah, I mean, I thought when I saw Arkansas pop up as a 4, I didn't know where they were going to seed them. I thought they really didn't get rewarded for winning the SEC tournament. They might have gotten one better seed, but they got a much tougher draw, I think.
Yeah, and by winning that tournament, I've seen a ton of people that have got Arkansas in the Final Four.
Well, that's in the Final Four.
Yeah,
that's a tough draw.
And listen, I'm not saying Alabama's got to, I'm not saying Alabama's going to make the Final Four, but if you were wanted to be in any of the regions, I put the Midwest as the easiest path to the Final Four.
I think so too. Again, I think Alabama got a tremendous draw. Now the Aden Holloway story, That's a huge impact on that. But I think draw-wise, just the Holloway story aside, draw-wise, I like Alabama's the best. If you were going to be a 4 seed, I think that's the best region to be a 4 seed in.
I think you've got the weakest one. I think you've got the weakest 2 and 3s too. And I agree with you guys.
Yeah, and can I put a capper on this because we haven't mentioned this name in a while? Slay brought it up. There was a lot of fear in the Charles Bediako situation that while the NCAA did not penalize Alabama for it because the court told them they couldn't, that the unsaid penalty for Alabama would be how they got treated in the NCAA tournament draw. And I don't think anybody can look at it and say they got punished at all. You're in Tampa.
That's right.
Which I think Greenville geographically was the only closer region to you than Tampa. I could be wrong about that. But you're not in Portland, is my point. Everybody thought Alabama was going to Portland.
They were going to get shipped off to Portland and have the toughest pass. Tyler, give me cut 5. In fact, Nate Oats had a chance to actually joke about that last night in the news conference after the bracket release. Here's Nate Oats, always thirsty Nate Oats, cut 5, getting asked if he was hoping they'd be sent back to Buffalo, where he was the very popular head coach at one point.
Was there any part of you that was hoping that Alabama would maybe get sent to Buffalo, or are you happy with Tampa?
Ecstatic with Tampa. If you've ever lived in Buffalo in March, you don't want to get sent to Buffalo in March. So I'm sure Brian Hodgson's ecstatic that he got sent to Buffalo. Maybe he's from Buffalo, not us. We're extremely happy with Tampa. Now, I did tell the players we're not going to Tampa on spring break. We're going there on a business trip. But walking from the hotel to the bus, you won't have to have your winter park on in Tampa. So ecstatic to go to Tampa.
Yeah. Nate having a good time with Brian Hodgson, who is happy to be in the tournament as the American champion. They get Louisville up in Buffalo. And how about
sexy upset pick, by the way.
And by the way, that should be a pretty good travel for. I think you can get directs to Tampa.
Yeah, for Bama fans. Yeah. Yep. Or drive down. It's just an easy 8-hour drive. Some people are on spring break. You can do Disney and then over to Tampa and watch the basketball on Friday as well. By the way, Antoine Petway and our buddy Philip Pearson, part of that coaching staff at Kennesaw State, they won their way into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, up in Huntsville, Conference USA tournament champs. I saw Coach P, Philip's been a longtime friend of ours, talking about, he's coached a lot of different levels. He's coached at Alabama as an assistant, at Georgia's assistant, where a tournament game may not carry the pressure. And I saw him commenting, I think it was on his Instagram page, where he's like, you don't know the pressure of coaching in these one-bid league conference championship games because it's your only shot.
It's your only shot.
You got the whole season you've played, and it all comes down to one game to get you in the tournament. And it's just a different world than the non-one-bid leagues like the SEC.
Yeah, those are fun tournaments. All right, before we do our football spotlight, Brownie, tell us about our friends at Bojangles.
You can make a bow time at Bojangles right now. That Bojangler, the hand-breaded Alaskan pollock filet, it's got that Bo seasoning on it. The deluxe comes with lettuce, pickle, tomato, cheese, and tartar sauce. You could start your day getting up some threes with that triple-double biscuit. Triple the protein, with the sausage, bacon, and egg. Double the cheese on the scratch-made Bojangles biscuits, like all their biscuits. And you can try those, by the way, the brand new Bojangles iced coffee. And end your day with that strawberry cobbler. Right now from our friends at Bojangles, where it is always bow time.
The College Football Spotlight
is brought to you every single day by our friends at Alexander Shannara. Shannara.com is the place you go when you find yourself in any sort of legal situation. Shannara.com, Shannara.com. They have recovered more than $2 billion for their clients. That's $2 billion for their clients right now with Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. He is a Birmingham guy, and when he started his firm, he said, I want to take care of the people of Birmingham. So he built his firm right here in Birmingham. Now, 25 years later, 150 attorneys later, 500 dedicated team members later, he's still taking care of the people of Birmingham. Shannara.com, Shannara.com.
We all knew when Lane Kiffin got this job at LSU, he would not make the attention about him. It would be all on the program, and I appreciate his maturity. Here's his social media the last 72 hours. I start off by hanging out with the Cavender twins. Social media post on his and their account all weekend long, where he says, beat them like we did Beck in 24.
Wow.
Is Beck still with one of them?
I don't think so.
Whoever's with them, I would, You might want to check in every now and then.
By the way, I will not say whether I follow or don't follow the Cavender twins, but one of them drained a 3 in Lane's face.
Oh, no.
Nothing but the bottom of the sack when Lane was trying to throw a hand up as they were playing a little pickup game.
Are they doing like something for charity or?
I do not know.
I think they were doing something for what we call social media.
Yeah. Then, Lane celebrating St. Patrick's Day on Saturday there with the St. Patrick's Day parade on on apparently the greatest chicken fingers on Highway 280 for at least the time being. You can't get through traffic.
Oh my God, yesterday.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to try it at some point. I still have never had it. But.
Yeah. The Lane Kiffin is on the float there where he stops at one point where there's a marching band and he says, "Do you guys know Neck?" And the band, of course, did. And
of course.
Neck.
Yes. So that's 2 parades since Lane's been the LSU coach, Mardi Gras and St. Patty's.
That's right. And
July the 4th, look out.
And then on Saturday night, Lane gets introduced by Boozy. Am I saying that right, kids?
Sure.
Boozy Badass. So Boozy, B-O-O-S-I-E. Am I saying that right?
Not Shaboozy. I think this is just Boozy.
This is just Boozy.
Yeah, I think
Boozy
it's
Badass.
Just,
yeah, Boozy Badass. Yes. Lane Kiffin gets introduced at the concert there. What's his catchphrase now that he's at LSU? Nothing like it, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
I've
just
missed
different, just different. There's Lane. At some point, he's watching film, right? They have not started spring football yet.
And at some point, he's going to win a championship.
Yeah.
We'll start with the SEC.
Well, he's got to coach a game first.
Yeah. Champion of the people, though. That's Lane Kiffin's weekend, past 72 hours on social media. Full time right there, full time. Did you see, guys, where La Tech right now has 20 games scheduled for next year, including some 2 games a week and doubleheader Saturdays? La Tech showed up both on the Conference USA and the Sun Belt schedules for 2026. There's a legal battle going on. They're trying to leave, am I right about this, Conference USA to go to the Sun Belt, but there are legal proceedings. So right now, the schedule for La Tech gets really interesting when you get to Army, because on Army, it's after Army. You see all the games they have scheduled. Next year, Northwestern State, at LSU, at Baylor, Middle Tennessee, Army, at FIU, Louisiana, Missouri State, ULM, Liberty, Old Dominion. That's just October. Your 11 games, you're not even to Halloween yet. Obviously, they're not going to play both of them.
They just don't know who they're playing.
But at one of those conferences, probably Conference USA, is going to have to redo their schedule.
I mean, that's pretty wild to see all those teams on one schedule, though, just because they don't know what conference they're going to be in yet.
Yeah. Both of them released this past week. They're trying to move on to the Sun Belt.
You spent a lot of time this year pre-scouting. I mean, do you think they're scouting both sides of that schedule, or do you think they've got a pretty good idea where they're going to be?
Probably a pretty good idea.
If I would bet, I would be preparing for the Sun Belt. So, trading Jack State for Troy on November 7th. They know they're going to be in the state of Alabama on November 7th. They just don't know if they're going to be up at Bill Burgess Stadium or down there at Veterans Stadium in Troy. They just know they're going to be in state.
You don't waltz into Bill Burgess Stadium.
They probably have hotel rooms booked in Montgomery just in case to split the difference there. It's the travel person's the most I'm worried about there. All right, Cinderella, sleepers. And I always wonder about this. Is this like draft week, where do I believe anything that comes out of their mouth, as we haven't made our official bracket post yet? But we talk about some potential sleepers. Not my sleepers, the one the national media is talking about, when we come back on the other side. The show being brought to you by a couple of great sponsors. One of them is our friends at New York Butcher Shop.
New York Butcher Shop had an opportunity to get in there on Saturday. Picked up a couple of the delicious fillets from the Highway 119 location. Fantastic sides. Also, great selection of fine wines and desserts. Rare quality, well-done service. 2 locations. The original Cava Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. It is the New York Butcher Shop.
And, of course, our friends at Way to Wellness. Our friend Leslie and her board-certified team can help jumpstart your weight loss. What am I saying? Well, you know, when you start to want to work out, lose weight, that maybe seeing a little progression, a little success early on can make a big difference. They can help you with that. Some instant success there, and then the ability to continue to lose weight, to maintain your weight loss. They've got a program set up specifically for you. No cookie cutter plan. It works for me. It can work for you as well. Just go to their website, aplanforme.com. aplanforme.com. They've got injection therapy all the way down to meal replacement, protein bars to prevent bad snacking, all with no contracts, all with no sign-up fees, and all with a free consultation with Leslie and her team. Go check it out at planforme.com. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the show always brought to you by our friends at Champy's on Highway 119 in Alabaster, where Sterling is standing by saying, man, it may be snowing outside, but if you want to come inside out of the winter storm of 2026 and enjoy a hot Mississippi Delta recipe tamale, some fried chicken that's been brined overnight and cooked to order, it's juicy down to the bone, some hand-cut chicken fingers, you can do that. Highway 119 in Alabaster, champyschicken.com. Sterling and the crew will take care of you. Lunch and dinner, also on the weekends as well. Perfect for watching the tournament is champyschicken.com. Everyone's talking about the snow falling in all over our state right now, where, Brown, you played golf yesterday. I played golf yesterday. I knew the storm was coming in. I knew it was going to be cold overnight. Freeze warning is going to be 20 tomorrow. But it was 77 when I teed off yesterday.
Yeah, it was quite nice out yesterday. Beautiful day. And now we got snow. Thank God it ain't going to last long. Oh, my gosh. What is this, Tyler? Don't show. Oh, we got.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I thought Tyler would show me.
We'll take a look outside in a second. But 77 down to 20 in a 40-hour period.
Yeah, this past weekend's weather was absolutely incredible. Put sunblock on for the first time this year out by the pool on Saturday. And to think we would have snow today, like I knew it was going to be colder today. I had no idea that snow was in the forecast.
Yeah. Here's a live look outside. That's right outside.
Oh, my gosh.
That's right outside where our building is. You're looking at the Grandview Hotel. So that's basically our traffic cam. That's the scene from blue. What are we called? Blue water? No,
I don't know. That building is definitely a hospital.
It's a hospital, not a hotel.
Yeah,
it's a hotel if you're sick.
No, that's Grandview. Yeah,
oh, you said hotel.
Yeah, did I say hotel?
You did.
Yeah. Grandview Hospital. That's Highway 280. Not a lot of traffic there. You see an occasional snowflake. It's a snow shower that's happening right now. Not sticking on the roadways. Long range forecast coming up. Thank you to Algo. Is that Alabama Go? Is that what that is? Algo?
It's the government.
It's going to be 91 in L.A. today. 91 and sunny.
Yeah. Well, I fly to Vegas. 99 is the temperature, and 100 on Thursday. Wednesday's 99, 100 on Thursday. Never gets below 98 while I'm there. So looking forward to that.
Go break a sweat.
Looking forward. You think? It's that dry heat, though.
It's that dry heat, man. It's not as bad as the humidity.
Yeah. Let's get back to talking about Cinderellas and possible sleepers, according to not necessarily our sleepers. We'll release our brackets later on. But what some of the national media is calling sleepers, brought to you by our friends at Odie's, where it's always a great place to go watch the games.
Yeah, I'll be meeting some friends up at Odie's tonight. We will be out there again on Wednesday night. Odie's Team Trivia, we do that every Wednesday night. Me and Brown, Will Haver at the original location in Crestline, newest location in Edgewood. Fantastic food at both. Ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Get into either one of those locations. Enjoy the incredible food. That Rodney chili, you'll love that with the side of grilled cheese today on this snowy March day. Stop into one of those two locations. Birmingham Institution is Odie's Tavern.
All right, the first team that my friends at Bleacher Report throws out as a potential sleeper team, they're in the same region with all those conference champions, Arizona, Purdue, Gonzaga, Arkansas, the top four seeds, is BYU. And they have struggled down the stretch, but all it takes is one big game from A.J. Dabatsa, one of the first two picks in the NBA draft, and they can get you kicked out of the tournament pretty quickly.
You and I, one day in a break or before the show, this came up, and I just made the point, like, when you've got one great player, and sometimes it's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
Is one great player in the tournament, and they get a play-in winner to start with.
But they get the wrong play-in winner.
Yeah, they get the best play-in game, NC State and Texas. The thing that worries me about BYU is they would have to play Gonzaga in that second round, and that is going to be basically in Spokane. I don't know how close Spokane and Portland are, but it's a lot closer than Provo and Portland are.
Yeah, Dabatse's great, but losing Richie Saunders, different team. They're 5-5 their last 10. I think without Saunders, they can't make a run. Can they get to the second weekend? Yes, but that's probably their ceiling.
Torn ACL for him, so Saunders is out. Second sleeper team from Bleacher Report. In the region with Alabama, Michigan, Iowa State, Virginia, and Alabama, they say look out potentially for the Georgia Bulldogs, that they're basically playing Alabama style, not quite as good offensively, but with a better inside game.
I love me some Blue Cane. This is a team that can light it up. Mike White is a coach that's got tournament experience. You know, he has been to the second weekend multiple times. And, you know, you go back to Georgia, probably played their best basketball at home. But some of those games, watching, you know, the Alabama game was one that jumped out. I mean, they've got an offense, and I think Georgia could be one of those teams that can make a little bit of a run. Wouldn't surprise me.
How confident are you in them getting past St. Louis, though? I mean, that is not an easy game. I mean, it's an 8-9 game. They're all tough.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Georgia's a 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I mean, that St. Louis team, that was their conference tournament was, the A-10 was a wild conference tournament, and they got involved in that really weird finish where there should have been a technical called at the end.
Against VCU? Is that who it was?
No, who was
Dayton.
Dayton, yeah. There should have been a technical called at the end. There was a player and an assistant ran on the court. I mean, it was just a weird, it's a whole weird tournament.
A player ran on, and then an assistant ran to try to drag the player off, and they were trying to inbound it, and the ref stopped it.
That's right. But it should have been a technical. I mean, it's clear, it's cut and dry, and the coach was pretty pissed about that afterwards.
We didn't realize this, but Georgia got a tough draw with Ole Miss in the SEC tournament. If you flip that around and Georgia went on the run that Ole Miss just went on in Nashville, I think a ton of people would be on this Georgia team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I don't know where they would be seated if they would have won a couple more games.
It might be better than an 8-9, yeah.
By the way, if you're sleeping, I think I'm right about this, Brown. Pull up your handy-dandy KenPom.
Got it.
Alabama's the number 1 offensive team in the country. Miami of Ohio is 2. Georgia is 3.
Based on KenPom?
Just on offense. I don't know if that was the net or what. But
yeah, I mean, I think they're 7th nationally. They score 90 points a game.
Based on KenPom, Alabama is 3rd in offensive efficiency.
Okay, that's efficiency, not points.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You're talking points per game. I don't have that on KenPom. They just do offensive efficiency.
Yeah, we keep a score for a reason. Alabama, Miami, Ohio surprises a lot of people. Georgia, in that same region, Akron is 6th, Michigan is 10th, and St. Louis, who Georgia plays, is 11th. That's the region of points, apparently. You have the region of death in the East. The region of points is the Midwest.
Your points per game, Alabama 1, Miami, Ohio 2. There's been commentary on Miami, Ohio's strength of schedule. They've scored all those. I don't know if you guys have caught that.
Yeah.
High Point 3. High Point right there in that game against Wisconsin. That feels like contrasting styles there, Wisconsin versus High Point. Arkansas 4, Georgia 5. Okay. So 3 of the top 5 from the SEC in points per game.
And Akron, I don't know why they scare me so much. They're pretty
7th.
high. They're 7th?
Yeah, 88.4 points per game.
Yeah.
Brian Hodgson in South Florida, number 8. That shouldn't surprise you. He's playing the system that he coached under with Nate Oats.
Yeah, that's a pretty good South Florida team, too.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting if they would have lost to Wichita if they don't get in.
And by the way, we just mentioned that St. Louis-Georgia matchup. Georgia 5th in the country, St. Louis 10th with 87. I don't know what the total is on that game, but that's going to be hard for that game to stay under with the number 5 scoring offense and the number 10 scoring offense in the country playing one another. So
I'll tell you right now.
I don't know. I don't know if you like to grab, like Alabama's getting a contrasting style team with Hofstra. I don't know if you prefer to grab that or you prefer to play a team that plays your same style. I don't know what you want as a coach, really, and it's probably different with every coach.
Well, you usually try to drag them into your style of play.
That's what you want to do, but then there's a chance they can drag you into their style of play.
That's right.
And that's what's scary. And if I'm playing, if I'm Alabama and I'm in a 4-13 and I get a team that plays my style, I feel like I got better athletes playing my style. And they're not trying to drag me into a style that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a massive total.
St. Louis. This is St. Louis and Arkansas.
I think it is the highest one.
Number 4 versus number
tournament.
10 in points per game nationally.
Just confirming. It is 169.5, and I'm pretty sure that is
That's
highest.
the highest in the first round.
Yeah,
so
I mean, that is crazy.
If you like scoring, there you go.
So 86-85. Is that a winner? That's a winner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be an 86-85 like game. Yikes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of points.
Winner gets Michigan.
Another sleeper team, according to the Bleacher Report. We've given you Georgia and who was the other one? Georgia and BYU. Hard to see this blue blood as a sleeper, but they say North Carolina. I'm worried about them winning their first one. They say North Carolina can be a sleeper.
I mean, what is a sleeper? If I'm a North Carolina fan, I'm expecting you to get to the second round, although I'm a 6 seed, but you're playing VCU and you're only a 2.5-point favorite, and then you will play an Illinois team that's probably going to be a 3.5, 4.5-point favorite over North Carolina. And then if you somehow win both of those games, you probably have Houston waiting on you.
We just talked about St. Louis. They're a sleeper, and Wisconsin is a sleeper, according to BleacherReport.com.
I think the Wisconsin team is dangerous.
Well, they're in that bracket of death, if you want to call it that. I mean, all those teams that won their conference tournament or their regular season. I mean,
but how just imagine, play this forward.
You can't like Wisconsin and Arkansas. They're going to play in the second round.
That's what I was going to say, though. You've got a 4-5 matchup with Arkansas and Wisconsin. I think it's going to be a pick. How many people are going to be on Arkansas? Everybody.
All of them.
All
of them.
Yep.
Sleeper-wise?
With a great history of Calipari in Wisconsin. That was the team that ended his perfect season at Kentucky, correct?
It was, yep, 2014.
Sleeper-wise, was it last year that McNeese was the one-loss team that everybody in the world was on?
Yeah, they were the hot 12 last year, right?
And here they are again as a 12, now at 28-5. Obviously, Will Wade left and went to NC State. But that's a good McNeese State, and you just wonder, this shouldn't matter, but you wonder if things like this catch up. Like, they were the darling last year, and they crapped out. Now this year, when probably nobody will pick them because of that, and they're playing a Vanderbilt team that was resurgent in Nashville that looked really, really good. You wonder, is McNeese a good play?
And Tyler Tanner is an absolute stud, but when he's a little off, they go to nickel for a little bit of offense. But I don't, once you get to this stage, McNeese maybe can out-athlete Vanderbilt. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Vanderbilt's an 11.5-point favorite, but everybody's going to be on the Commodores.
And then in the next round, you got Nebraska, Troy. Nebraska doesn't exactly have a good history of advancing in the NCAA tournament. They've never done it.
I was going to say, they've never won a game.
Yeah, so there's a chance you're playing Troy in the second round. I mean, Nebraska has never advanced in the NCAA tournament, even though they're a 4 seed. So
I feel like this is the year.
I mean, this is it's the best Nebraska team I can remember, obviously, and they've got a tremendous basketball coach.
Yeah, best opportunity. I think Nebraska would be a 1.5, 2-point favorite over Vanderbilt in that second round. So they're going to be favored to move forward.
Yeah, but, man, if you get McNeese upstanding Vanderbilt, you never know.
Tyler, if you'll give me cut number 7. John Calipari ends up winning the SEC championship at Arkansas over the weekend, and now he is rolling into the NCAA tournament with his best team, all-around team he's had in a long, long time, now with the Razorbacks. And he had this to say after winning the SEC championship.
It is about the name on the back of the jersey. Yes, we're doing it for Arkansas. You want to win, but it's the name on the back that I'm in the business for. Now, I kind of been that way and done all right at every school I've been at. So you could say it's wrong, or you can live with it. You could be peed off or peed on. I really don't care.
Wow.
Can I tell them what I said in the pregame? So I said, guys, it's another game. We're trying to get better. Let's see where we are. We're holding our seed, and Nick Pringle in the back said,
hell no.
Bullshit. This is for a championship. And I said, if that's what you need me to say, great, let's go get this championship.
Boy, Herb Brooks would disagree with that.
Yeah.
It's all about the name on the back.
I know. You never hear a coach say that, but
I mean,
he's always been that guy, right? And he's true to his word. When he was at Kentucky, one and done, he in that documentary, and I don't feel like it was just for television, where he'd sit down and say, listen, if you want to go to the NBA and make all that money for you, that's fine. If you want to come back another year and make me a bunch of money, I'm okay with that too, but it's your choice.
I appreciate the candor, but if I'm Arkansas and you're paying all this money, would it be nice to hear, hey, look, it's been a while for Arkansas. We're trying to get this program back to where it needs to be and where it should be, instead of it's about these NIL guys that are one and done.
Yeah, it's weird to hear a coach say it. You never hear a coach say it's about the name on the back of the jersey. They always want to do the name on the front of the jersey deal.
But he's just being honest. That's who he's always been.
It's who he's always been, and it's hard to argue. This guy has had 4 head coaching jobs in college basketball, and the other 3 he's taken to the Final Four.
I counted this morning.
They were not blue bloods, by the way. They were UMass he took to the Final Four, and Memphis, who hasn't sniffed a Final Four.
When I came up with that question, Mark Pope or Hubert Davis, more pressure, I went back and just looked at Calipari, because not only what he's doing right now at Arkansas, but what he has done his entire career. Do you know how many Elite 8 appearances he's got?
Well, I mean, I know he's got at least 3 because he's been in 3 Final Fours. I would say John Calipari has been to 8 Elite 8s.
12 regional.
Wow.
Yeah.
The guy can coach, man. I mean,
think about it. He had Memphis. Again, I can't believe, and this is what it sucks for Memphis fans, because Penny Hardaway is an icon in Memphis basketball. But he has won one tournament game. That guy went to 3 consecutive Elite Eights at Memphis, and really a Derrick Rose free throw away from winning a national championship.
Yeah, a guy who's got his jersey retired as a Chicago Bull missed a free throw that would have made him national champs.
Yep. It was painful to watch. But you can't, I mean, he gets the label of, I just recruit a bunch of guys and roll the basketball out there and let them play. You don't win 900 games doing that. I mean, y'all would agree with me, right?
Right.
You don't win 900 games, go to 12 Elite Eights, and a bunch of Final Fours by just rolling the ball out and letting guys play. I mean, that's an unfair criticism of John Calipari. The guy can obviously coach.
He can coach.
Yeah.
Handling the time off and then not being overconfident in the opener. We'll talk more about Alabama and what's happening with Aden Holloway and their first-round game after we tell you about our friends at A+ Brownie, a company that changed yours and LT's bathroom and kitchen. Not that y'all live together, separate homes.
I'll let LT have the kitchen. I took the bathroom. My master bath in the Brown house there is a little bit outdated when we bought our house, and we just didn't like the colors of it. So we decided, hey, one day we're gonna fix this up. And when the day finally rolled around, my wife Jennifer scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job. Brad Bell was the guy inevitably she kept coming across when she read reviews, talked to people who had used certain contractors. Talked to the contractors themselves. She felt the best about Brad. So we got Brad to come out and look at our job. And he was like, hey, listen, you just tell me what you want it to look like, and that's what we're going to do for you. We gave him our vision. He did our vision to a T. So if you're tired of the outdated bathroom or master bath, the kitchen, the master bedroom closets, get Brad to come look at those. Those are 3 things he specializes in, not because it's all he does, but it's what he specializes in because you spend a lot of time in those rooms. And when you sell your home, you can make some of the money back on those rooms, maybe all of it, master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. You want Brad to come look at your job, give him a call, 205-422-1758, 205-422-1758, or AlabamaBathRemodels.com.
And what a wild weekend weather-wise right here in Birmingham, where it was kissing 80 this weekend, and now we've got a blizzard, it looks like, outside. You ran the AC all weekend. Now you're running the heat. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, cooling issues in your home or business, our friends at Hemp Hill Services, the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for any and all of these issues. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. Hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Here's Nate Oats on his approach. And this is what I love about Nate, is the fact that he has seen this from both sides of the street now, these first-round games or second-round games of being the brand Alabama taking on Hofstra. Here's Nate Oats about Alabama's path.
If you don't take these teams seriously, I was a 13 seed at Buffalo. Our third year there, second time we went to the tournament, we were a 13 seed, and I thought we were maybe a little better than the 13, and Hofstra probably feels the same way. And we ended up getting matched up against Arizona, who I thought was a lot better than a 4 seed. And, we came in and popped them. We were up 25 and put the walk-ons in with two minutes to go in the game. So if you don't come with the right mentality, you're going to get sent home, and it's going to be a disappointing end to a season that had a lot of promise at the beginning, and we had a solid year. We were 2 seed in the SEC tournament. We're a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. That's solid. It's great for what, was going on before we got here, but it's not good enough for what we want.
Wow.
We got to make a deep run here.
I mean, he's not wrong.
No.
He's not wrong. I mean, that was great back then, but
I think there's a lot of people that think this Alabama team, based on draw, can make a run. I saw Peter Strager, for whatever it's worth, he's a big NFL guy, but he has Alabama in his Final Four.
Everybody's got a bracket, right?
Yeah.
That's the best thing about this year. Everybody's got a bracket.
I've thought for a while this looked like an Elite Eight team. Now, look, this Aden Holloway thing is a big deal, so you got to see how this plays out. I thought with him, if he is playing for Alabama, this looks like an Elite Eight team to me. And again, you've got to beat the one at some point. Now, I thought Alabama would probably be a 3 seed, so you weren't going to have to beat the one until the Elite Eight. But still, the thing about Hofstra Dunaway is they're 95th in KenPom in defensive efficiency. And Alabama normally chews those teams up, those teams that can't play defense. Alabama scalds them on the perimeter. So I do think that is interesting. We talk a lot about their offensive pace. Less than pace, I look at, what do you do defensively? Because Alabama, if they're shooting the eyes out of it, even good defensive teams can't slow them down. You're a bad defensive team, and 95th is pretty bad. You're a bad defensive team. I don't know how you guard this Alabama team if they're halfway on.
Again, the Aden Holloway story that Brown is referencing, per the Tuscaloosa police, Aden Holloway, a spokesperson on Aden Holloway tells Pete Thamel, agents with the West Alabama Narcotics Task Force conducted a search of a residence in the 400 block of 30th Avenue East this morning. The agents recovered more than a pound of marijuana, paraphernalia, and cash. Aden Holloway is 21, charged with first-degree possession of marijuana and failure to affix a tax stamp, which is an odd reference, by the way.
That's the thing I'm most intrigued about in this story. I have no idea what that means.
He was transported to the Tuscaloosa County Jail Monday morning. Bond is set at $5,000. That's from a Tuscaloosa County spokesperson. And again,
the tax stamp. And there's a lot of people out there that are familiar with the story. There were a lot of illegal bookmakers that got busted a couple of years ago.
I remember that.
In Birmingham, and one of the problems was you could actually purchase a stamp where you're actually technically paying taxes. And I was told behind the scenes that law enforcement would have looked the other way because you can technically register as a gambler. And you pay taxes legally on that, and they continue to look away and didn't want to pay this tax stamp. Now, I don't know how that goes because you can't legally deal. So I don't know why a tax stamp would be involved with this, but I'm sure there's a good reason for it.
Yeah. It's mentioned for a reason, so this is not insignificant, right? I mean, this is a charge. You could call it tacked on or whatever, but it's something that is mentioned for a reason, I guess I'd say.
Yeah. See, I've only heard of tax stamps in reference to paying for them for firearms purchases, like if you have a suppressor or an automatic weapon, and
maybe that's
you're permitted to own one.
Yeah.
You can you can pay for a tax stamp.
Okay,
and
makes
you're
more
good to
sense.
go.
Yeah, it makes more sense. So it could be unrelated to the marijuana.
Did they say there was a firearm that was found?
They did not, but he could legally possess that.
Right.
Yeah. So, and as you would imagine, reaction in the chat room and on social media is everything from innocent until proven guilty. He should play. Don't miss any time. You got to set him to the extremes on the other cross of the street. Just a continuing off the field storyline for the program.
Could the tax stamp mean that it was like a retail product, like it was meant to go to a dispensary?
We don't know.
No idea. I'm not an attorney. I have no idea.
Yeah.
$5,000 bond, though, is pretty low. I mean, he can bond out very easily, especially for the NIL money these guys are playing for now.
Used to be high for a college athlete.
Of course,
anymore.
Maybe
that's one
he's
game.
going in front of the judge that said Bediako needs to play, and they're like, we can do a $1 bond, we can do $1 million. I mean,
my question is, though, I mean, if he's out on bond. I saw, as one of the national writers say, can we get Kalshi numbers on whether or not Holloway plays if he's out? He said it's got to be 50-50 based on Nate Oates' history. I think it'd actually be better than that. I think if he's out, I think he would play.
I have not seen a response from Alabama yet.
Boy, and I bet they don't. I bet it will be so vague.
We know the
gathering facts.
Yeah.
Got to be careful.
You got to, because you really don't know the details. You don't know how deep this thing goes.
Yeah. All right, so that's that's another off the field issue that at least Nate Oates will have to address in one way or the other, either both verbally or playing time wise, as Alabama gets ready for a trip to the NCAA tournament. But one thing that always happens is that anytime there's something new, they drag up unrelated history and bring it back up. So that'll be another storyline moving forward. All right, more football coming up on the other side, and trash. By the way, our countdown to kickoff brought to you by our friends at Innisfree. We're at 166 days to the start of the college football season. Our friends at Innisfree LT off today after a great weekend, and tomorrow is such a fun day at Innisfree.
Oh, Kegs and Eggs, it will start at 6 a.m. when they open those doors. Stop in, enjoy the green beer, the bagpipes, everything going on at the Innisfree Irish Pub. And this is like Chicago is probably the biggest St. Patrick's Day city.
Yeah, I'd
at least
probably
in America.
go, in my
Boston.
head, I'd go Chicago, Boston, New York,
Okay.
and then Innisfree.
Yeah,
fourth.
It's third.
But I mean, this is like Chicago weather for St. Patrick's Day. So enjoy the weather, put on some green, head to the Innisfree Irish Pub. You're going to love it.
Yeah, and do they do kegs and eggs in Tuscaloosa as well, or is that just a Lakeview thing?
Ooh, that's a good question. I
think
really
it's
don't
just
know.
a Lakeview
Probably.
thing, but I'm not 100% sure.
I mean,
but-
students aren't going to be up at 6 a.m.
Yeah, they may be on spring break this week. All I know is Innisfree's a good time. Lakeview location, kegs and eggs tomorrow starting at 6 a.m. Green Bud Light on draft. It's just a whole bunch of fun down there with our friends at Innisfree. When we come back, a little football and trash. Stay with us.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Catch up on all of today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Looking for the ultimate weekend in Birmingham? The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix is back at Barber Motorsports Park, March 27th through 29th, bringing big energy, big crowds, and unforgettable moments. It's more than a race. It's a full day of excitement, family fun, food, music, and world-class competition, all set on one of the most beautiful venues in racing. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix at Barber Motorsports Park. Get your tickets now.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
All All right, before we talk a little football, our friends at NASCAR getting ready to come back to Talladega. Man, so much fun. And TalladagaSuperspeedway.com is where you can get all your information about the Jack Links 500. It's April the 26th. Got a couple of races on Saturday as well, and all the fun all weekend long. April 26th is the Sunday race with the top-level Cup guys, all the superstars on the world's fastest speedway. But don't forget to upgrade to the garage experience, the most immersive garage experience in all of NASCAR. You get access to the NASCAR Cup Series Garage Bay viewing areas, pre-race ceremonies, driver question and answer sessions, and the Mobile One Victory Lane. See all the details and get your tickets right now, 877-GO-TO-DEGA or TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. It looks like Goddard's coming back to the Eagles, and A.J. Brown, they seem to be working on a trade for A.J. Brown. I don't know if the two are related. Would you be willing for the Rams to give up some kind of stock to get A.J. Brown as another receiver?
Okay, I'm going to tell you exactly what I saw over the weekend and how I responded to it. No is the short answer. I want nothing to do with A.J. Brown.
Okay.
I think he is
could be a cancer.
Yeah, it seems like that. Now, as soon as I say that, they won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. So, take that for what it's worth. But I just know, here's what it was, and this is an NFL writer. Who says no to this trade? The trade is Rams receive A.J. Brown and the round 6 pick from Philadelphia. The Eagles get Devontae Adams and Jared Verse. And he said, who says no to this trade? And I said,
everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Jared Verse.
I wouldn't give Jared Verse up for anybody.
No.
Insane. But, here's the problem with A.J. Brown. He became a malcontent when Devontae Smith was getting more targets than him. Can you imagine an offense with Puka Nacua?
Yeah.
Like, he's just not going to be happy. So there are certain landing spots that would make sense for A.J. Brown. The Rams are not one of them.
I wouldn't give Jared Verse up for 2,000 Jennifer Aniston.
What are we playing here? Are we playing?
Two and touch.
Brooks brings up a good point. What about 94 Jennifer Aniston?
I thought 2000 was better than 94.
What is her heyday? I mean,
I thought 2000 was a sweet spot.
Maybe 2005, 2010.
So Brooks wanted a rookie Jennifer Aniston. Jim's going with a veteran Jennifer Aniston.
But yeah, when she first started dating Ross, like season 2, season 3, I thought that was
94.
I don't want to put you on Brooks Island, but are you sure 1994 is when that was? It was.
No,
she wasn't like
that. Was kind of chunky Jennifer Aniston.
94 was first season, so
it was,
first couple 94 through 96.
She was of age in 1994. Okay.
Yeah, show ran from 94 to 2000.
Brooks has her
56 now. Like, I mean, but damn, back then she was probably 23, 24.
Yeah, Brooks has her on a rookie contract. You're going for you're going for free agency.
Yeah, I wanted the A.J. Brown version of Jennifer Aniston.
I think she did her best work is Tom Brady at Tampa Bay, Stafford with the Rams.
Yeah,
the older she got,
the older. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot that don't age well, but she is one of those that she finally is showing age. But do you understand? She's 56 years old.
Hey, by the way, we talked about this after his passing, but they did the auction for Jim Irsay's collectibles over the weekend. $93.7 million was raised.
Dang,
that's incredible.
It was pre-auction estimate was $40 million. Notable items included instruments that actually belonged to the member of the Beatles, Eric Clapton, Bob Dylan, Prince, and Johnny Cash. An original manuscript by Jack Kerouac.
Kerouac.
Okay, there we go. I knew you'd get it, Tyler. Thank you. Sports artifacts linked to Jackie Robinson, Wayne Gretzky, and Muhammad Ali. The most expensive item sold at the live auction was Pink Floyd lead guitarist David Gilmour's Fender Stratocaster that went for $14.55 million. It was originally estimated to go between $2 and $4 million. According to the listing from Christie's, it was the Stratocaster that was used in The Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, and The Wall.
Wild, the stuff that guy just had. Right?
Never a Pink Floyd guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys?
Not really.
I mean, I just didn't do hard drugs, and
It's just me and Scott, I think, that are the big Pink Floyd fans in the office.
Boy, I went to one of their concerts here. It was awful.
It's not like an immediate change for me, but it's not something I seek out either. Like occasionally, just the I don't know, just the sound is peaceful. Pink Floyd a little bit.
Yeah, see, the 3 albums Jim listed are albums that I'll listen to front to back.
Wow.
No skips.
Yeah.
You get it, Scott? It's a little peaceful. I mean,
I mean, it's some of it. I mean,
not everything.
Yeah,
It's
I love Pink Floyd.
Not an immediate change.
And I didn't do hard drugs.
Would
There's exceptions to all rules.
Have they done Pink Floyd at the Sphere, an experience? Like Pink Floyd music, The Wall at the Sphere?
They should do a screening of the Wall movie at the Sphere.
They may have already done it.
Well, they did the Grateful Dead, so I wouldn't be surprised to see something like Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
I mean,
Crazy.
definitely Dark Side of the Moon.
Hey, by the way, Open Doors, they do college revenue research as we get ready for this tournament. Before LT tells you about Michelson and we get to trash. For college basketball, men's and women's college basketball, $932.5 million of NIL money spent this year that we know about on men's and women's college basketball. That's up from $314 million in year one of the NIL. So college basketball, men and women, this year making $932.5 million of NIL money. That's $1 billion virtually of college basketball NIL money. Imagine what football is getting paid.
Well, I mean, if you split those numbers, I would assume that the women of that $900 million, maybe $100 million.
Oh, I don't know.
I was going to say the $35 million was the women, and
maybe.
I mean, Caitlin Clark they thought she was getting 3.5, right? And that's the biggest women's basketball player in 30,
Ever.
40 years,
Yeah,
maybe
ever.
ever.
Yeah.
And
As
she
far
was
as
getting 3.5
NIL money. Yeah.
Now, y'all are going to be shocked, but the ESPN analyst I saw this morning when they were trying to force feed the women's bracket again got all 4-1 seeds going and has UConn winning the national championship.
they're good again.
But sadly, that's sort of what we're doing with the men nowadays, too.
It's getting closer to that. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, but
it does. Michigan feels different now today than they did if we were doing this in December.
I
right?
think Florida seems different for a lot of people after losing to Vanderbilt this weekend. But I saw a stat: seeds 1, 2, and 3 since the inception of the tournament are like 401.
Women or men?
Women. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just play chalk there.
Yeah, I saw Jacksonville's playing LSU. LSU's a 2 seed. Jacksonville University from Jacksonville, Florida, is a 15 seed. They have a 0.02% chance to win the game.
They just can't make it total 0?
Yeah. They're going to play the game,
Yeah,
so it can't be total 0.
That's right.
They need Artis Gilmore in his prime, right?
Michelson gets us to trash today. Tell us about our wonderful friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
Yeah, make the phone call that I made way back in 2003. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. I called 205-969-8100, and I've got 2015 vision better than 2020. Make the phone call that I made at 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy for more information. MichelsonLaserVision.com.
I'm here with the winner, Derek Lewis. Derek, why'd you take your pants off? My balls was hot. I understand.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Our friends at Bud Light. Hopefully you had an opportunity to get into the Innisfree Irish Pub over the weekend and drink some of those $1 green Bud Lights. But St. Patrick's Day, a great day to do it. Stop in and wherever you are, pick up some delicious Bud Light. We start first. A new trend is spreading. New trend that involves a very old pastime. Introducing the churn and burn. It's a viral challenge that gives a new meaning to the phrase grocery run. Started when a couple of Oregon-based trail runners decided to test out how easily they could make butter in their vest during a run. This is disgusting.
Oh, no.
The answer they discovered is actually it's a pretty smooth process. It was earlier this year when Libby Cope and her boyfriend, Jacob Arnold, both 30, were first inspired to make a batch of hands-free dairy. Cope had poured some decadent cream-top milk into her morning coffee, naturally prompting Arnold to ask, do you think if we ran with this, it would turn into butter? And then he said we went to the store, got real heavy cream, and went for a run. The actual technique was only slightly more involved. First, pair poured their heavy cream into a Ziploc bag, total of 32 ounces, which they told Runner's World was a bit over the top in retrospect. Then they had a good shake of sea salt. That bag went inside another Ziploc bag, and they were ready to hit the trails. Their Hypothesis was that the jostling of their bodies during their roughly hour-long run would transform the heavy cream into a solid. The proof in this case wasn't in the pudding, but in the yellowish gunk which they managed to spread on a piece of bread at the end of their workout. Cope, who is also a professional content creator, of course, was sure to capture every step of the butter creation on video for her channels, and the experiment was an instant hit, with the culture whipping up over 11 million views on Instagram.
Hey, you know where else I've seen butter? The grocery store. I think I'm going to go with that one.
Amish country.
But it's not organic.
Yeah, no, I would go to Amish country and buy butter before, or the Mennonites. Mennonites here in our state.
Mennonites live in
Great
Minnesota.
butter, by the way. All their dairy products really good.
Yeah, you've spent some time with the Mennonites over there in West Alabama, right?
And well, not in West Alabama, but I guess
Yeah.
there is
I
that
thought you said there was a
Mennonite
Mennonite
sandwich shop.
deli
It's really
over there,
good.
yeah.
But the Mennonites in Lancaster at that farmer's market was really good.
Yeah.
Speaking of butter, the other night had a stick of butter, big ass stick of butter on the island. Maddie uses butter a lot when she cooks.
Good.
And, yeah, it's very good. And Chili got that whole stick of butter, and it was gone within 3 seconds. The other day, we were missing an avocado, a big-ass fresh avocado. Saw Chili under the table with just the pit of the avocado in her mouth. Ate the whole thing.
My last dog ate sheetrock.
Yeah.
This dog would too if he could find some exposed.
Oh, it's a bull shark. Had to get the stomach pump because there is something on the coating of gum that is poisonous for dogs. And she ate, 40, 50 pieces. So I took her in. It was like $1,200 to get her stomach pumped. My buddy Rab was like, he's a vet, and he's like, yeah, you need to take her in. So did that. Got the stomach pump. She was fine. She did it again last month.
Please tell me you've got pet insurance for this dog.
I said, we're going to wait this one out. I think she's tough enough. She threw it up like 3 or 4 times. She was fine. Florida man caught on camera climbing into an Amazon truck and driving off with a delivery driver in the back, according to a video posted by the sheriff's office.
Don't worry, I'll make all the stops. Just hold on back there.
County Sheriff Wayne Ivey said the Amazon driver was in Merritt Island and had stopped on the side of the road to deliver packages back on February 25th. Suspect identified as Joseph Baldy stopped, started to yell at the driver to move his truck, the sheriff said. Ivey said the Amazon driver told Baldy that he would move the truck in a second, but, quote, Mr. Baldy didn't like that. Baldy, later caught climbing into the front driver's seat, starts moving the truck, according to the sheriff. Ivey said the Amazon driver jumped into the side door and almost fell as Baldy took off. Quote, I don't know what the heck he was thinking, Ivey said. Clearly wasn't thinking. He was arrested, charged with grand theft and kidnapping. I'll tell you, I had an Amazon truck come in, and it was just hauling ass in my neighborhood. Came into my cul-de-sac. It was missing half the bumper. It had 2 wheel caps that were off.
Jeez.
And I'm like,
it was Mr. Baldy.
Don't you take a little pride, Amazon, in your trucks? Like, I wouldn't let that on the road. That's their brand.
Yeah.
That can be my new nickname on the show, Mr. Baldy.
Mr. Baldy?
I was going to ask, has anyone ever called you Mr. Baldy before?
No. But, you know, I'm the bald guy. I mean, I can be the bald guy. But nobody's ever gone Mr. Baldy.
Mr. Baldy.
Mr. Clean?
Mr. Clean. I get that a lot on social media, especially when I have these glasses on.
I didn't think Mr. Clean wore glasses.
He
He did not.
Yeah, well, that's a weird comment then.
I have these glasses on and no hat sometimes after a fresh shave, and it's no hair. My daughter's got where she the day after I shave it, she's got where she rubs my head. That bothers me.
Mr. Clean made the transition
want to give her good luck?
That's what she says, though.
The Magic Eraser, right?
Yeah.
Isn't he on the cover of the Magic Eraser?
He is, in fact. I think it's their product. Those Magic Erasers are amazing.
Yeah,
I
they
don't know if
are
y'all
really,
ever
really
used
good.
them.
Yeah.
They'll get anything.
My daughter rubs my head. Dad, it's for good luck. And Maggie's like, you got to rub his stomach. That's the good luck. It's like Buddha.
Rub the stomach.
Japanese sweet potato truck driver has gone viral after driving his burning van towards a fire station to seek help after it went up in flames. Food trucks, delivery vans are common across the world, but different countries have different ways of doing things. Many park in designated spots, selling their food from there only. Others hit the road and do it door-to-door deliveries as well. In Japan, they've got hot potato trucks that drive before parking up and feeding customers roasted potatoes.
I don't make potatoes. Those look a little too hot.
They're a common sight around the streets of Tokyo, with many having colorful lights that draw even more attention to themselves. However, one driver has gone viral after his truck became a moving fireball on the roads.
Now, that would get my attention.
Now, driver's sweet potato truck caught fire, quickly videoed by residents as it was tearing down the streets. Fire occurred just before 10 p.m. on March 13th. Firefighters managed to extinguish the fire, leaving the truck just as a smoldering wreck on the roads. The driver, who has not been identified, is a man in his 70s, though.
In social media, I would get the story, and the sweet potatoes fell off onto the street, and folks were enjoying the sweet potatoes with cinnamon and butter already on them. And I would send the video to Forrester, and Forrester would say, "Jim, that's AI." I sent him one video one day that it looked like it was from an account of a station in Louisiana of a crawfish truck that had spilled, and that was a true story. But the video that I was seeing was already red crawfish that had been cooked and seasoned, and it didn't dawn on me that they transport those live usually, or at least packaged on ice. They're already cooked and seasoned. Why would it be seasoned already and people wouldn't be eating them off the street? And Forrester's like, done away. So AI.
Yes.
I mean, I just assume everything is. Like, if I saw this without the story behind it, I probably would have said, I guess it's AI. I've just been burned too many times on AI. I just assume everything is. Like, I saw a great video with a saltwater croc fighting a bull shark.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude's just right there filming, and I'm like, this looks great, but there is zero chance it's real.
Have you seen the stadium they're doing in Qatar? Up on the top floor.
Bad elevators.
According to the J.M. Smucker Company, the brand just announced that its entire Uncrustables lineup will be fridge friendly with a full rollout beginning this summer. This is better because, you have to thaw it when it's frozen. And I love Uncrustables. I don't know where you guys are on the Uncrustables. I think it's a great snack.
Unbelievable.
It's become a big thing at golf courses.
Makes sense.
Yeah, for people to grab at the turn, and they're all chilled. Everybody does them cold now. It's
cart girls should have
fantastic.
them more than they do.
I know the Inverness, they'll have them in the cart. There's other places I play, they'll have them in the Bev cart. But almost every place you make the turn now has Uncrustables. I don't know.
What is a going price? $2, $3?
$3. I mean, they're not expensive.
I keep them in my bag if I didn't have a chance to eat lunch, and they're delicious. I remember when we were down with Todd Coder's festival that time. It was one of our days down at the beach before. It was my getaway day. I ran and bought 2 boxes of Uncrustables and left one for you guys because y'all were staying. And I had to try not to eat more than 3 on the way home.
Yeah, I can't do that at the beach. Like, I just pack a sandwich because if I take Uncrustables, I could probably eat 10 on the beach.
Yeah. I had 3 on the way home. And
so good with Bud
I had
Light,
to literally, at one gas stop and put them in the back where I couldn't reach them because I knew I would just keep eating them all the way home. Strawberry is my favorite.
Well, the biggest complaint, Brown, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say real quick, Donna, you asked about price. I was at a local course, private course, not Inverness. And at the turn, they had this, what looked like homemade beef jerky. And I was like, well, that's interesting. I didn't have lunch. And I told the girl behind the counter, and she's like, she looked around to see if there were any members or clubs. She's like, sir, that's like $13 a bag. She goes, the Uncrustables are $3. I was like, well, give me 2 Uncrustables. That's a heck of a deal right there.
Saving money.
That's right. You're going to help me save.
Is this the female version of Dunaway that's downselling instead of upselling their product?
She was. She's clearly,
man, that ain't a value.
She's clearly not on commission.
I am the worst.
Now, $13 for beef jerky? Are you kidding me?
The biggest complaint with the Uncrustables is the thaw time. Now, the sandwiches will be sold in the freezer aisle, but at home you'll have options. You can keep Uncrustables in the refrigerator for up to 5 days for grab and eat convenience, or leave them frozen if you're stocking up for the long haul. The company says taste, texture will not change. The same soft bread is baked daily in U.S. bakeries, and the sandwich is frozen on-site for freshness. Fridge friendly move was shared at the Consumer Analyst Group of New York 2026.
They thaw quickly.
How about this? 2 more flavors, though. Up and Apple, peanut butter and apple cinnamon jelly, and the Bright-Eyed Berry, which is peanut butter and strawberry jam.
Yeah, I like the strawberry jam one. I do. I haven't tried the one. They've got one that's peanut butter and honey.
I've had that one. I have not had the Nutella. They've got a Nutella one,
that's
too.
Good, too. I bet that's good, too.
And
that is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Just a great destination lunch location. If you're off school this week, swing by there and enjoy a great lunch with the kids. They'll love the hand-cut chicken fingers. You'll love the brined overnight, cooked to order, piping hot fried chicken, juicy all the way down to the bone. I like 2 breasts, the big in-house made sides, the in-house made dessert, the caramel cake, depending on what part of the country you're from. unbelievable. So too are the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. Sterling, for over a decade at that same location, Highway 119 in Alabaster, all summer long. It's our friends at champyschicken.com and our friends at Gutter Cap LT. It is time to think about selling that home. If so, you want to throw the gutter cap on there, clean the gutters one last time.
Well, that warranty transfers, too. It's a lifetime warranty on our friends Chris Stewart's product there, Gutter Cap. It's a patented aluminum cover system, fits over most existing gutters. It will keep all the debris out, only rain, water, free and free flowing in the gutter system. 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. You get on the roof, slip, fall, snap, neck, and die. No good to the wife or kids. For more information, guttercapbirmingham.com.
This is obviously no surprise. I guess it's a good time to reset the Aden Holloway story. He was
Absolutely.
arrested. You want to reset it real quick, and I'll just do the quick follow-up.
Why don't you reset
I've
it,
got it
Brian?
right here. Agents with West Alabama Narcotics Task Force conducted a search of a residence in Tuscaloosa. They recovered more than a pound of marijuana, paraphernalia, and cash. Aden Holloway was charged with first-degree possession of marijuana and failure to affix a tax stamp. He was transported to Tuscaloosa County Jail. Monday morning, the bond was set at $5,000. Nick Kelly reporting he has made bond and has been released as of about 10:30 this morning. Nick is with AL.com and has been on the forefront of reporting on this. The part that I was going to say is no surprise is that he made bond, but it is a significant step in this story. So now Nate Oats will meet the media again sometime in the very near future, and he won't even have to be asked the question. He will immediately address it because he knows it will be the first question. Yeah. So I think that will be the interesting thing.
Would much rather talk Hofstra, I'm sure.
No doubt. But once you've made bond, I mean, it's not like, you'll probably have some preliminary court dates, but it's not like anything would be immediate. I mean, if you're going to play him, I think now that he's out on bond, he's probably going to be available to play potentially this entire tournament. We're only talking about 3 weeks here.
Oh, I think he'll be available to play, but it's just
coach's decision.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
Like, do we think without Aden we can get past Hofstra? If you think comfortably you can do that, maybe he suspends him for just one game, which is still a big suspension.
Yeah, I saw somebody in the chat, and it's moving way too fast today, so I apologize for not giving you a name, but somebody in the chat was like, one thing that concerns me is I would think Holloway's a big piece of next year's team. And how do you deal with him in this situation so that he still feels good about coming back next year? If you want him back next year, I would assume they do.
Yeah, it's amazing that you got to be that delicate with these guys nowadays.
Yeah, but
you got a pound of weed on you, and if we suspend you, we don't want you transferring out.
Yeah, I mean, but
the athlete's got all the power.
Aden Holloway in the portal would have value. That guy's a good player.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting away from basketball. One final thought in basketball in a second, but I want to get this out here. The Americans win in the World Baseball Classic over the Dominican 2-1. The one run from the Dominican was a home run off of Paul Skeens, and the Americans had 2 home runs of their own. They will play Tuesday night against the winner of tonight's Italy and Venezuela game, 7 o'clock FS1. Auburn baseball, number 5 in the country, road sweep at Missouri. Did they ever start that one delayed game, Forrester? Missouri's lights weren't working or something?
They did. They had some technical issues. Had a hour and a half delay. Didn't change anything, and then wound up finishing the game as it was when they started the delay.
So with half darkness? Or some lights missing?
They, got out whatever, light meters or whatever, and decided it met the threshold of the light needed to play.
A fair play. Alabama softball won the series against Arkansas, number 5 versus number 9, top 10 matchup. Alabama was 24-0 before they lost the middle game to Arkansas, came back and won it over the weekend. And then there is basketball. First appearances ever in the NCAA tournament, just 2 teams. Cal Baptist is in. Didn't know they existed.
I'd never heard of them until yesterday.
And Queens, we talked about them being in out of Charlotte. And this could be the last year of the Queens name. They are merging with Elon next year.
Did not know
Not
this.
the programs, the actual universities. So obviously they'll have one program then. And they don't know what the name of the school will be, if it'll be Queens Elon, Elon Queens, or if they'll just take the Elon name. But it's not expected to take the Queens name, so this could be the one and only appearance ever for Queens.
Boy, they were a massive dog when I looked at the point spreads against Purdue.
It was so weird to see that was listed as one of those wins. Was it for Auburn?
Yeah, one of the wins versus teams in the tournament. One
I
of them
thought it was.
Queens.
I thought it was. There's no way it was quad one.
Oh no, it wasn't.
No.
But it wasn't.
There's a
it wasn't
stat
just
that
tournaments.
teams in tournament.
Yeah, teams in tournament.
That's what it was?
That's the
Okay.
list it kept making because Auburn did. Of all the teams in discussion, they had the longest list of teams they'd beaten in the tournament. Obviously, playing in the SEC, Oklahoma's was pretty good too. Obviously, SMU's wasn't great, or it wouldn't be listed by people.
Yeah, the bad news, Queens, 24.5 point dog. Good news is they get Purdue. And we've seen Purdue in this spot before. Right?
Oh, wow. Purdue has, they have thrown up on their shoes sometimes in the NCAA tournament. Just having won the Big Ten, I don't know, man. This
Doesn't seem like the time they'll do it.
No. And it feels like they've gotten over that hump now that Painter's taken them to a Final Four at least once.
Tomorrow night's the play-in starts. UMBC, they are a former 16 that beat a 1. This time they have to get in with a play-in as they play Howard. And then Texas is NC State tomorrow night as well. So that's the first of the play-in games. Usually that's not part of your bracket. I don't know anybody that plays those games in the bracket. Real bracket stuff starts on Thursday. We'll talk tomorrow about our brackets and our bracket challenge and all that tomorrow on the show. Don't forget our new Next Reels will be out tomorrow as well, right here on the YouTube channel. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor,